came over for dinner, we'd probably have a wonderful time.
Well, I'm having a great time
I
with you
don't
right
want to.
now.
I don't want to see you getting run over. I don't want to see you get run over by a bus, which actually puts you above most people that I meet on Discord. I'm kind.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't want
I'm
you to deep throat the whole boot of the government either, bro.
I'm full. I'm actually. I was just telling my wife. I said I'm actually enjoying these conversations because we haven't gotten. There hasn't been a lot of personal attack, and I truly appreciate that. By the way, it's one of the reasons I'm still here. That and I find
Well,
that I find what you guys are saying fascinating. I really do.
right, it resonates. Truth resonates with people, doesn't it?
Sometimes, I mean, what the thing
Sometimes.
that I
When
find
does truth not resonate with you? The sun
the
is
coolest
warm. Did
the
that
coolest
resonate
thing
with you?
the coolest thing I was going to say was that yes, you guys bring up a lot of things that, and you are forcing me to really examine why I believe what I believe, why I know what I know, and that's actually
Epistemology.
I think that that's an amazing. I think it's an incredibly important thing in life.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
epistemology is really important, right? The truth. How do you get
well,
there? Right?
yeah, and re-examining things that you know from a different point of view, and this is great. I find it's fascinating to me. And I was really surprised to find that I was actually. I'm going to tell you that I was forming an opinion in my head about you, and I was, and then you went and said that you dislike Trump, and it was like it kind of broke that model, and
Yeah,
I can
I've
very much.
never been a Republican or a
Say that.
Democrat. Never. I've never been a Republican or Democrat. I'm full on libertarian, right? And in my religious view, I'm a monarchist. Yeshua is the king, right? He's the high priest and the king, and we're all equal under him. Imagine that, right? Somebody, a white guy from Texas, who believes that we're all equal under the Creator.
Under
What
him.
a
Imagine
terribly
that.
ridiculous idea.
I'm guessing you don't fit in a lot of places.
Bro, I'm kind everywhere I go. I fit
No,
in everywhere that I go. I didn't sit with the cheerleaders in high school, I'll admit it, but I sat with everybody else.
what do you do for a living, if you don't mind my asking?
I deliver pizza. I slang it out of my pockets.
You deliver pizza?
I
Interesting.
deliver pizza for a living, right? Interesting little gig I got into right out of high school and didn't go into debt.
It's just it's interesting because
Right?
you're also exceptionally well read, which
You know, I don't
uh,
like reading much. I do audiobooks.
well, have you? Okay, I'm going to tell you an audiobook series not to get. Do not get the complete works of the Cthulhu guy.
Oh, yeah, he was
It's
racist,
Lovecraft.
wasn't he? Yeah,
Oh God,
Lovecraft, he was so
yeah,
racist, but you know what? We have to forgive him because what
that was
he
a friend.
did, what he did was amazing.
Yeah, well, but it's like it was indescribable horror, and then he spends the next 20 pages trying to describe the undescribable horror. It's like Jesus, come on, man. There was like so many little there was you could see a little formula kind of going on there. But um I got those and I got the complete works of Arthur Conan Doyle, and it was like, oh. But one of my favorite books are actually the Dune series, um and I really loved anything by Neil Gaiman.
So, are you a Freudian?
No, no, no.
You're a Jungian.
I'm when it comes to
Adlerian?
psychology. When it comes to psychology, I believe I don't actually follow a single thing. Um, uh, I'm I'm a type of person that goes with various trauma and what people perceive as trauma.
Adlerian
Um,
psychologist.
so if you think that if you feel that something was a trauma, it may not be a trauma to me, but that doesn't discount your interpretation and how it feels. I also believe that you can experience trauma through dream. When that you can have a dream that was real enough that it creates
Okay, that's
real life
true. I
trauma.
used to have a recurring dream when I get fevers as a child.
Yeah.
That pretty much
And
traumatized me.
and So it's more of a, I don't, the brain is, the mind is a much more, I don't think we can really, I mean, it's really, I think it's a lot more complex than we actually give it credit.
Oh, imagine that. The complexity just sprang up out of the rocks all by its lonesome.
Well, it's also, I also believe that we have way more senses than five.
I agree. Yeah, hot and cold.
Um, I mean, we got the
Sense of
ability to.
balance.
Well, we've also got the ability to um, feel. Uh, kind of like I don't know, like electromagnetic or some shit. I don't know. We're
Yeah, I
picking
can feel
up.
my phone when I put it in my pocket. My knee
Well,
goes numb.
when we walk, but with people, with other living creatures, we have different. We can sense things. We can sense other things. Maybe it's just a subliminal thing, but I believe that there's more that we're just not able to record yet. But I
Oh, of
also think that
course, there's more.
I I also think that everything is explainable on a rational level at some point. At some point, we just have
So
to.
do you know the book The Courage to Be Disliked?
Did you ever read anything by Richard Bach?
Stop.
Uh-uh.
Um,
Did not.
get it's just as interesting. Get if you have the ability to get the book Illusions by Richard Bach. It's kind of a continuation of Jonathan Livingston Seagull, and I thought it was pretty pretty weird, but really good at explaining certain things. Um, I did a lot of look. I've looked into a lot of religions and a lot of things like that too. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not. I'm just interested in people.
Bro, you're studying our minds telling us that you're not a psychologist. Just because you don't have
Well,
a degree doesn't mean that you're not psychoanalyzing the fuck out of me right now. Am I
I'm
not
a
a mechanic when I repair my car, when I replace a part? Am I not a mechanic just because I'm not getting paid for it?
okay. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
So
I can
just
just flip.
because you didn't get
I,
permission from, the temple to, put something on your wall doesn't mean that you're not that thing. If I
well,
marry my wife in the temple, right, and I get a piece of paper from the government, is it any less legitimate than a common law marriage where we're married by common law because we live in the same house for 6 months? We still have to file for divorce if we want to do separate tax returns after that, do we not?
yeah, but you don't have to invite all those relatives that you don't really like to your common law
Well, now you're talking about the ceremony. That's different, right? A marriage is a contract, not a ceremony.
Yeah. So, um, does okay. So does the putting flat Earth aside, um, do you? I mean, is there other? Um, do you question all all authorities?
You must think for yourself and question authority. In order to think for yourself, you must question authority.
So, like, do you believe that people can go to college and come out undoctrinated, but become better at being better at bullshit detection type of thing? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
That
I don't know.
that
There's that's a compound question. If you go somewhere and you listen to people speak, you're going to be indoctrinated. Whether it's true, like how to be an engineer and how to build bridges, that's still indoctrination, right? That's how you get your doctorate, right? Indoctrination. So the second part of your question, can you still come out open-minded? Yeah, if you can keep your mouth shut, you'll make it all the way through.
actually I did keep my mouth shut in college and got better grades because of it.
Where did you go to
Because of
college? A Jesuit school? Did you go to a college run by the Jesuits?
No, I went to school. I went to St. Cloud State University.
Think what you did?
Saint Cloud State. It's not. It's a state. It's a state college, not a.
Oh, okay,
Yeah. It's near St.
okay,
John's, which
yeah.
is a religious college, but it's not a. It's
Okay.
a. It's just. It was a liberal-minded state college, which I freely admit I am more liberal than conservative, but I don't like labels like that because I think that
Yeah, labels
it
are
is
stupid.
short. I think it's shorthand. I think it's weak thinking. Um,
Right, because we want to compartmentalize everything so that we can be lazy.
right.
Like,
Um,
oh, I know everything this guy ever believes because he said that he's pro Second Amendment. Like he's one of those
yeah,
people. That's what cops always do, right? Oh, you're one
yeah.
of those people. Yeah,
Mhm.
like one of those people that like think for myself. Oh, you want to play the game? Well, what's the game? Well, it's gambling, right? Gambling with your freedom. Like you're one of those people.
And I have my own views on a lot of things. It's like I don't like guns. I don't care if people have guns. I don't like the fact that they're using the guns. That's my issue.
Yeah, I don't like
You know,
using guns either, except for on paper targets. But if someone breaks into here, what am I supposed to let them have their way with my wife after they kick my ass because there's three of them?
yeah. I mean, I completely agree with that type of thing. But then you get people like, you know, I don't know. You get some people that have a different view on things, and
Bro, if I wanted to, I could take somebody out with my Mitsubishi Mirage.
I'm not opposed to people having guns. I always question. It's like so when somebody says, "Oh, I got a concealed carry." I don't question their right to have a concealed carry. I just question their decision to have a concealed carry. And
Well, I mean, if there's a mass shooter, what am I supposed to do? Call for a man with a gun or be a man with a gun?
honestly, that's an argument. That's a good argument. That's a solid argument. I don't care.
Right, because it's
Um,
my duty to be a man and protect the innocent. It's not my right, it's my duty. You understand what duty means?
he said duty. Well, yes, I know. I was
Okay,
being
so you get it.
facetious there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. You get it. Duty.
And I have that guardian mentality myself. I mean, it's kind of hard to get away from it. I did spend 17 years in the military. It's, um, I,
Well, if you're in the
but
military, I know why you don't like guns because you've seen what they can do. And I
yep.
respect that. But I haven't seen what guns can do. Well, technically I have. But I still think that if there was a violent criminal, a perverted criminal who's trying to steal people's lives, cause someone harm, injury, or loss, right, without self defense, that they need to be stopped. And I could not stand idly by and allow them to victimize innocent people and shed innocent blood while I'm capable of stopping them.
Well, that's fine. I think I already stated that I respect everybody's you know position on it.
Well, then
There's
you're not
arguments
a
that
leftist.
there are arguments that I think are ridiculous. Like, oh, it's gonna if somebody's trying to rob me on the street corner, that I'm gonna be able to pull my gun out and shoot them. It's like, well, odds are, no, because they already got theirs out. I mean, they got the drop on you, boss.
Yeah, you're right. The criminal has, the surprise element, but there are still ways to distract people. Like if you were to carry your credit cards in your left pocket and your cash in your right pocket, and when they ask you to give the money, you throw the credit cards at them, and then while they're fumbling and trying to catch, you send them to Jesus and let him work it out.
Well, and that.
Send him to
I mean,
Jesus.
and my view is that when somebody pulls a gun out on me, if they want my wallet, fuck, they can have my fucking wallet. I don't give a shit. There's
That's
nothing
not
in my
the
wallet.
that's
There's
not
nothing
the
in my
point
wallet.
though. If they pull
There's
a gun
nothing.
on you, it has nothing to do with your wallet. Yeah, they could take your property. right?
Yeah,
Who cares about
but
property? But
but
the
if they, I
fact
mean,
that they're
but if I
threatening
believe it,
you with a gun,
if I believe that they're going to hurt me, I'm going to take the gun away from them and beat the living shit out of them, if not shoot them in the face. And that's, I don't want to.
well,
I
of
don't
course
seek
not.
this
Nobody
out,
wants to get mugged.
but and at 6 foot 260, I'm not really the person that's going to get mugged. Also because I'm poor. I'm not somebody who's going to go, hey, he's got money on him. No, he doesn't. He's got he's got homemade rolled cigarettes in his pocket. And that's about it.
All right, so you've been doing something this whole time, right? And you've been paying attention to the flat earthers. I challenge you, right, to act like a learned man and suspend your disbelief. Put yourself as high on the fence as you can, not believing in either side, realizing that both sides have a belief, and listen to the debates and be well learned in debate tactics like
Oh,
uh,
that's
bad logic, right? We're talking about logical fallacies. Be
mhm.
well learned in confirmation bias and other biases that people deploy. Tactics like stultification, right? Oh, you're a flat earther. Oh, nothing you say can be real, right?
Oh,
And once you
yeah.
do that and you go look at these debates, analyze the Glober and notice what kind of cognitive dissonance that they're experiencing. Meanwhile, the flat earther doesn't do those things. And if they do, they should be called out. No flat earther should be using sophistry in a debate. Absolutely not. And if they do, you should call them out.
And what I find interesting is, okay, so somebody had mentioned shadow government earlier and started getting into more conspiracy. And I'm wondering, like, I'm just looking at the mix of people that are in here and the difference in, you know, tactics and understanding and things like that. And it's really cool, actually, from my perspective, and way better than going into the politics channel. That's just vile. People are so mean in there. Do
So
you?
did you hear what I said about analyzing the other side, analyzing the
Yeah.
globe earther?
I've been trying. I've been trying to do that.
How
It's
well do you
difficult.
know your fallacies? If I were to
I'm
say we should take away the guns, do it for the children, what fallacy is that?
um,
Do it for the children. We got to save their lives. We should take away your God given rights. Because one man did a bad thing, we got to do it for the children. What fallacy is that? It's okay if you don't know, just say you don't know.
you think that without the guns you can't protect the children?
Well, if someone has guns, wouldn't it be best to choose the best tool possible to protect the children? But I'm asking you which fallacy it is. Can you be honest and say you don't know?
No, it's the fallacy is that the guns cause the problem,
Well, I think it's
and
appeal to emotion, but
the fact of
yeah,
it,
the
and the fact that
fallacy.
and that because the problem, and I keep going back to this in other channels. The problem is mental health,
Hey, I can't disagree with that. You're correct.
and it's the same problem with the homeless. It's the same problem with the drugs. It's just, so many of these things are just rooted in the fact that, and I'm not, and I blame mental health, the mental health community for misdiagnosis, over medication, freaking under medication, just the whole gamut of issues. Um, that sometimes, when a kid's depressed or has trouble focusing, why don't you just why don't you get them to box? That'll fix a lot of those problems all by itself. And then you don't, and then and doctors prescribing this and doctors prescribing that instead of and doing too much masking of the problem as opposed to, okay, a little lower dosage and teaching you how to deal with the problem. Um, it's like teaching somebody who's missing a leg that, okay, you still can walk with this new leg.
You
You know,
expect a
instead of
pseudoscientist like a psychologist to understand cause and effect? No, bro, they're going to mask symptoms.
It's called job security, man.
well, it's just a it's with it's I hate to say it, but it's a lot of people that just that they you know they got their medical degree, they got their psychology degree, and immediately went out to practice without having real world experience, without really. I mean, it's like sending an 18-year-old into combat. You know, you've taught them everything, but they're not ready. They're not psychologically even able to deal with what's about to happen. And that's why you end up people getting fucked up. When you send somebody who's older, who's had more life experiences, yes, they may disagree. They may disobey order, but they're going to follow. But they're going to follow they're going to understand how things work a little bit better and understand how to do things better and how not to and hopefully not to make the mistakes that just following orders blindly does. You know,
Yeah, but if you entice America into perpetual war, they'll be easily overthrown with all the best genetics being sent to die or be traumatized overseas for banks.
well, that's the whole thing. Is that what is the best genetics right now? What's most advantageous for procreation? It's actually money, looks, and you know, money. It's not, then those aren't always the soldiers. There's some really ugly, stupid soldiers. Um, and I don't know. I think that we look. Gingers are even now. People are thinking they're attractive. How did that happen?
Bro, you ever seen a redheaded woman in sunlight? She glows like an angel. What is wrong with
Um, somebody else. Somebody.
Larry, you still playing Path of Exile or no?
Well, what?
No, I'm asking Larry.
I quit a long time ago. I was doing it for a
Okay.
couple hours.
Okay. It looks like you're still logged in for some reason. It's okay.
Yeah, I just walked away because when I debate people unlike this guy, I give them my full attention.
I've been playing. I was playing Star Wars Galaxies, getting my Doctor glowy so that they can become force sensitive and shit. Which is nothing that you really care about, but so I was running a bunch of really mindless missions.
Sounds like my life.
um, yeah, I got into a debate with somebody, and we were talking about the wall, and
Pink Floyd?
I
Yeah, it's deep.
no. Oh, I wish that was what. That's what they could put at the border. Just pass out joints and play the wall. Nobody would ever get past the wall. Just sit there and get tripped. Just sit there and trip. Be awesome. Um, but no, I said that it was a waste of money, and he was going. He argued, and he said, "You're saying it's too expensive." I said, "No." I said, and I had only said it's a waste of money. I thought it's people argue poorly bother me. Like you brought up things that okay, that's legit. That this stuff is legit. Okay, but when people go to politics, it turns into more religion than anything that we've been talking about in here.
Believing that another man has more higher claim over your life, liberty, and property is a religion.
And I've always thought that guy's just an idiot. I mean, people say, "Well, why don't you like Trump?" I was like, I just don't fucking like him. Well, you need to get specifics. I was like, no, I really don't. He smells, he smells like a fucking shyster, and and they get offended by that. But I'm like, what difference does it make what I believe, what I feel? People, oh, Biden's this and Biden. You must like Biden. I was like, well, where did this say that I have to like the other guy? I don't like any of them. I've never seen a politician in my life that made my life better. Oh well.
So 17 years in the military, and no Freemason came up to you and said like, "Yo, you want to join the club or what?"
No, I've had Freemasons. I've had Freemasons, say, hey, I'm in this one. Yeah, I still have an open invitation. I don't give a shit.
Oh, ho, 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 ho.
I don't. I
Oh,
I don't.
ho, ho, ho.
I just think that I think that the whole Freemason thing is kind of overrated. But
Yeah.
Well, it appears they don't have to follow fire code. They brick up all their windows. I wonder what they're doing in there. It's all
mean,
charity. They're hiding
I'm
the charity.
already in the Illuminati, so I mean,
Oh, ho, 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 ho. Look at this guy. Exposing himself, everybody. You guys see this?
I've never exposed myself. That you know.
Well, not in that way. I'm just talking about. I'm not talking about, oh, you fucking pulled down your pants and showed your penis to everyone. No, no, no. I'm not talking about that.
Yeah.
Hey, hey, are you a Glober? You must be a Glober, because yeah, I've been listening. You've been defending the globe and all this space stuff for like fucking the past 2 hours.
I would, I guess I am.
And then you said you were in a submarine, and then you know how radio frequencies travel and stuff like that.
No. No, I've never been in a submarine.
Oh, you
I
did.
never
You
said
Navy. My bad, Navy. But you talked about submarines.
I did talk about submarines because somebody said that everybody needs permission. I said no.
Okay, okay? So what about on a Navy ship, right? There's a rail gun. Like, how far can it shoot straight?
It doesn't shoot. It shoots in an arc.
No, my friend.
The only
Even
thing
if
the only thing
the railgun shoots
only
pretty straight, my guy.
Everything that's in projectile motion is follows the
I'm
power
talking
of
to
the
I'm talking to the military guy, not some asshole Dunning-Krugering right now.
the Navy that I was in, the Navy when I was in, didn't have anything like a railgun. We had a 5-inch cannon.
But you ever seen a demonstration of a railgun? Like I have seen it, and it shoots pretty fucking straight to me.
But it will still have an arc.
Over what? Over curvature? Okay, so let's say it can hit a target like 100 miles away, right? So how much of an arc is there? It's not shooting up into the sky.
That's already, they've already figured that one out. That's still gonna have.
Who figured it out?
Drop.
Yeah, sure, but
Newton.
Newton had railguns in the past.
No, Newton. No matter how fast you throw an object out, it's still gonna have a drop.
Yeah, sure, we agree with you. But velocity, like, okay, so let's say I shoot a sniper, right? The arc's gonna change, right?
Yeah.
It's not gonna be the same arc as that railgun, right?
Well, it's gonna be.
Okay. Another question: Coriolis effect, right? Do you know what that? You know what people and the Globers always like talk about this thing called Coriolis effect, right? So when you shoot a projectile, the Earth is spinning underneath the bullet, right? Do you ever see that?
When it comes to something that's like a gun, it's not gonna have any effect.
But Magnus effect does, because the barrel, right? The way you bore the barrel, right? It spins the bullet on its own. So there's a thing called the Magnus effect, right? Do you know what that is?
Yeah. I'm not a sniper, but yeah.
So you understand what that is, right? So there is no Coriolis though, right? There's other things that are there, but
The spinning of the Earth is not going to affect something that's not in the air that long.
well, you should tell that to most of the Globers
That-
that fucking say that it does. So
I
thank
don't.
you.
The spinning of the Earth isn't going to matter. More the curvature of the Earth will matter.
Well, the curvature, right? Exactly. Yeah.
Or-
But there is no curvature though.
When you then explain the look up the
Oh, there is
when
no
they were- when
curvature.
they-
I'm
look up
telling
how
you, there's
look
no.
up they were talking about when it was on the Iowa when they talked about the artillery and they were finding and the firing stations one of the
Listen,
factors is
yeah,
one of the
Ruski.
factors
First
that
of all, I'm a
is-
Russian, right? Okay, so like, well, we like our wars, right? And I watch a lot of this artillery shit that's going down in the Ukraine because I have like crazy videos from these drones and shit, right? And how artillery is. Do you know artillery doesn't hit the same mark all the time, right? So they'll shoot one bullet, right? It's gonna hit an approximate fucking thing where they're trying. There's a zone that it's gonna hit, right? And they'll reload that thing, right? And they'll shoot again. Pretty much the same fucking. They didn't change anything, right? But it's gonna hit something else, right? It's not gonna hit the same spot. You know that, right?
well that's because Russian artillery sucks.
Hey, you're telling me the Americans better now?
Oh fuck yeah!
Nah, that's why the Americans are losing the war, yeah? Mm-hmm. What are you laughing? It's
Dude.
true. What do you think? Russia already has half of Ukraine. What are you talking about, bro? Funded by NATO. The whole thing's being funded by NATO right now, and you're telling me how many billions of dollars? Like it's almost up to $1 trillion where they're fucking laundering money through Ukraine, right? And they have no bearings against like nothing. They couldn't even fucking touch Russia right now.
Send some American troops there, we'll fuck you up.
That's your like Dunning-Kruger, not that's your what do you call it? That's your patriotism right there, speaking right through you. That's patriotism right there.
Hey! Look, I'll do us all a fucking favor, and I'll put a bullet in fucking Putin's head, and then everybody
Hey,
will be fucking happy.
see now why would you say that when he saved more Ukrainians, right? Okay, so for the 8 years before the shit actually hit the TV, right? For the fucking 8 years, right? The east side of Ukraine was bombarding the west side of Ukraine for 8 fucking years. Do you know that?
I know I'm not. I wasn't.
Do you know why they were? Do you know why the east side was bombing fucking the west side of Ukraine?
Because people are fucking assholes.
No, it was ethnic fucking cleansing. The fucking east side of Ukraine is run by fucking Nazis, right? So the whole fucking thing, even though the fucking west side of the east side of Ukraine, even on their fucking uniforms, they have Nazi symbols, right? The SS symbols and shit, right? So and they were ethnically cleansing because these guys, the west side of Ukraine was Russian mixed Ukrainians, because that the whole of that fucking continent, right, is all the Velika Rus. It was all Rus. It was, all these people are like they all speak Russian, right? They don't speak Ukrainian. Their blood is mixed with Ukrainian Russian, right? And just because of that, they were ethnically cleansing these people for 8 fucking years. Did you know that? So Vladimir Putin literally had to come in and say, we got to stop that. You got to actually listen to the speeches he does. He can do fucking 4-hour speeches that are fucking insane, right? And you got to listen to what he's saying and why the fuck he had to stop that shit, because millions of people were actually getting fucking slaughtered by fucking the east side of Ukraine. So and when the war when he actually pulled in, he's all the Ukrainians from the east side, they all fucking fled to Russia. Why are the Ukrainians fleeing to Russia?
No idea.
Okay, so see that there's a thing called that you, my friend, are watching biased media. You're watching some shit on TV and you're believing it. And you being a military man, you understand what that's all propaganda. And you know it's all propaganda, what you know. And that goes down to that also goes down to the globe and everything else. You just believe what they told you in the end.
All I'm saying is that Rocky IV ended differently than the one you saw.
We'll see. That's now you're fucking obfuscating some bullshit point, but you got to understand what I'm telling you, right?
No, I understand that both sides. I understand that both sides have both sides have a point.
No, the Americans have no fucking reason to be in Afghanistan. They don't have no fucking reason to be fucking in Iraq. The Americans have no reason to be anywhere in the fucking world. Stay in your own fucking country but you know what's crazy? They send our fucking money to all these fucking countries, fuck up all kinds of shit, right? But yet you go to fucking what do you call it? Seattle, fucking some of the places in Seattle with all the atrocities that are going down. Go to Chicago right now, but they can't fucking help the people there, right?
I agree with you.
So there's a problem.
I agree with you.
It's time to be less patriotic and start thinking for yourself.
Well, what happened to the T-17s, by the way?
I don't care about T-17s. It's irrelevant.
I do. They were really cool. I wanted to see how effective they were.
Listen, there's Russian planes that are fucking insane that nobody even knows about right now.
I know what they look like. They look like bigger versions of American planes.
Oh, not necessarily. No, they make a specific noise that you can't even target them because they have like this the actual jet engines make a crazy noise that you can actually hear, but it masks what do you call it, from the radar systems. And they're literally invisible planes because the noise just fucking interferes with the what do you call it, when the radar hits them, it just gets absorbed. It doesn't reflect it back. You don't understand, right? You guys think that Russia has no technology. Russia is in cahoots with Iran, with fucking China, and that's why they're having such an easy time taking over that place because China's helping them. You don't understand. China pulled in a lot of troops too. Iran is helping them by fucking providing them with all kinds of crazy drones. And the whole fucking war is ISIS. That's how you get all this footage. All this footage is from fucking drones, bro, because drones are everywhere. Drones are bombing. Drones are just flying. They're actually fucking suicide drones and fucking bomb drones. Like the men are like fucking kilometers away. They're just sitting there looking at their goggles and then dropping fucking bombs on the evil people. You know what I mean? That's how it's played right now. Drones, drones, drones.
I disagree with most war.
Well, then you shouldn't have went to the military, my friend.
I've been in a lot of places. I've seen a lot of things.
Anyways, back to the thing. You know, the thing is the crazy part. So the radius of the Earth, right? It's supposed to be close to 4,000 miles, right? Here's the problem that's why most of us know and understand it's a extended topographical plane, right? It doesn't curve. Because if the radius was 4,000 miles, there'd be a drop rate. That drop rate's about 8 inches per mile squared, right? Nowhere, no matter how well we measure it, like I got pictures of my lake being over 30 miles where there should be a 600-foot drop. I can see right across it, perfectly flat. I can see the lights of the next city, right? With bare naked eyes, right? And because due to conditions, right? But anyways, and then if you want to go like actually measure it, we have actual fucking PDF files and videos of guys actually pulling out like $30,000 lasers and going from one target to the next target, like line of sight, boom, no curve, no arc, nothing, right? So you should understand line of sight. You're a military guy, right?
I do understand line of sight, and I also understand that where that line of sight ends, and that they didn't.
Where does it end at a 6-foot observer height? Okay, so at what point, right? If you're 6 feet.
I'm reading something right now. I'm sorry. Hold on.
So you don't want to answer the question when it came to like the actual shit.
Well, 6-foot observer height is about 3 miles.
Okay, so at 3 miles, the line of sight starts. There's a curvature, right? There's going to be obstruction at 3, right? Matthew, Mr. Learns.
If you're looking at line of sight and there's nothing bending the light, then yeah.
Oh, nothing bending the light. Now we're going into some bullshit. Ha!
No, I mean
the horizon is right.
I bring that up because typically, if you're 6 feet above sea level, you're standing near some water.
Okay, so here's a picture. Matthew Learns. Go to the side, right? I'm 6 feet. No, I'm actually 6'5", but the camera's not at my eye level. It's actually below my eye level, right? So here. This is me. The lake is 30 miles across, right? Mr. Learns. I live on Lake Ontario. Okay, Mr. Learns. I will show you something, Mr. Learns. I gotta go to this chat. And then I post you a picture, Mr. Learns. You're gonna bendy light. It's funny. Here, Mr. Learns. Send you a photo. See that picture? See how nice and flat the horizon is? I can see St. Catharines, and I'm in Toronto. And you know how you know I'm there? Because the shadow on the ground, you see it. That's me taking the photo. Right? Mr. Learns.
Okay, yeah, I opened up this picture. So,
Mhm.
it looks like you're maybe 6 or 10 feet above the water, and
Oh, 10 feet. The fuck? I'm 6'5". That is the shore, right touching my feet, pretty
yeah,
much.
right underneath you. How
There's
much?
no 10 feet. There's no 10 feet, bro. That's you see the water, and my feet are right
Yeah,
fucking
how
next
much
to it.
higher are you than the water?
I'm 6'5", my guy, and the water's right there.
Okay, and how far away is the city?
30 miles. Go look on Google. It's Lake Ontario. I'm in Toronto, and that's St. Catharines. Shut the fuck do you want this guy? There should be 600 feet of drop, my guy. No lights in St. Catharines are that high. Welcome to Flat Earth, my friend. I know you've been doing this for 5 years. I know you've been doing, and the conditions were very, very, very cold. Ha 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 ha. Welcome to Flat Earth. I know you've been doing this for over 5 years. You know?
Yeah, I have no explanation for that photo.
Yeah, I know you don't. Only that it's fucking flat. The simplest fucking explanation.
Yeah, that would be definitely the simplest.
And the best one. Usually simplicity is the best. Line of sight, Matthew Learns. And the fucking crazy part is, right? This is the crazy part that you guys don't get. If the earth was curving, it wouldn't be curving only forward, right? It would curve all around you, right? So your peripherals would be fucking dipping too. And here's the crazy part. This fucking lake is it's 30 miles across, right? No. The width of it's 175 miles, right? But here's the thing. I can see all along it. So straight out, it's fucking 30 miles. But if I look to the right or to the left, the distance increases. But guess what? I still see those fucking lights. Oh my God. What's going on there, Mr. Learns?
Yeah, I'm not sure. In this picture, I'm not sure what's going on.
Because this is reality. See, Vlad likes to take fucking real fucking reality, man.
So it's like this every time you go down there? You can see the lights all the time?
No, my friend, obviously not, because when it heats up, right, there's things called fucking water particles and whatever, you'll get fog and shit. Obviously, the horizon fucking changes, right, based on the conditions. But guess what? This motherfucking day, it's cold, man. Right now, even today, probably, I almost saw the lights today because it's getting really cold. Now, the colder it gets, the more shit you see further out. Because
So
it's
it depends
the
on the temperature, what you're
no. See, the thing is, the way you think refraction works is completely different how it really works in reality, my friend.
Oh, yeah, I don't know how refraction works.
Exactly.
It can
Thank you
bend
very
light
much.
sometimes.
That light does not bend the way you think it bends, buddy. You keep listening to idiots, man, and you keep regurgitating what they say. It's not a good thing.
I can tell you how I think it works. I'll be super quick. When you're looking at a light at the bottom of the pool at night, and the light's all the way across, you're seeing the light and it appears much bigger than it actually is because the light is diverging, spreading out in all directions. Right, Matthew? You've heard me say that before, right?
I have.
Before today, right?
Right.
So earlier when you said I didn't have an answer for it, that would be factually incorrect, right?
I didn't remember that answer.
Oh, okay. Plead the fifth, right? I don't remember. Anyway, so basically what it boils down to is instead of thinking about light always bending down at 8 inches per mile squared, Sometimes the light would bend more, which would cause it to disappear from the bottom up. And sometimes it would bend less, which would cause it to disappear from the bottom up. Because if the light goes over your head, you don't see it. If it bends too far down and it hits the water, you don't see it. So what we're thinking about is the way that you guys think the light works, when actually it could be a mixture of a bunch of different things. And it could just be that the light is more like turbulence when it passes through the atmosphere, and it's doing a bunch of those things all at once, which would cause us to not see it. And if it's disappearing because of atmospheric turbulence, refraction, diffraction, divergent, attenuation, and all these things, then it can't just always be, but it has to be the curvature. It has to be refraction. That's affirming the consequent. False cause. Thanks.
It doesn't have to bend exactly 8 inches per mile. If it bends more than that, you'd still see it.
If it bends more than that, it's going to hit the water, Matthew.
Well, that light would, but the other light would reach you.
No, not if it hits the water. What other light? If it bends more than 8 inches per mile squared, let's say it bends at 10 inches per mile squared.
Right.
It's going to hit the water in your model, and it's never going to hit your eye.
So those lights are shining in all directions, so there would be some light that would still hit you.
Think about what happens the other way. You're in the water, right? That'll come up in front of you. That's what that would do. If the light was curving more, you would see the water closer to you that you normally wouldn't see would be lifted up. That would be the effect that you would see.
Yeah, and remember, we're talking about light bending 0.01 degrees per mile, and that's it.
So am I wrong when I said that it would bend 8 inches per mile squared if the Earth was a globe and you were seeing objects that were 60 miles away? Is that incorrect?
That's correct. I'm saying that if you're going to talk about light bending, we should use angles, and so that's why I said 0.01 degrees per mile.
Okay, so you like to use angles because you're a mathematician, right?
Because we're talking about bending. Bending happens in angles, not distances.
Okay. So I know you like to doublespeak, but is it incorrect that if I'm okay, you realize that doublespeaking just means that you're using different words. Like instead of saying you want to murder the baby, you say, "Oh, we want medical care for the woman." Right? That's doublespeaking.
Right.
Okay.
That's what you do all
day. So when I say 8 inches per mile squared, and you say, "No, it's the angle," or if I say 1,038 miles an hour and you go, "No, it's 1 rotation per day," they're both correct. You're just double speaking.
They're both correct, but it makes more sense to use the one that matches the quantity you're measuring. So if you're talking about bending, angles make sense. If you're speaking in terms, then RPM makes sense.
If you're speaking in terms of mathematics, both of them make sense. You can describe things differently. There's more than one way to skin a cat, more than one way to get a girl to come home with you, right?
Matthew doesn't know anything about getting girls at home. Ha!
Yeah,
come on, married.
Hey, you shouldn't have said it, but that's true.
No, look,
that's
she
true.
doesn't get this. If she doesn't get the safe word out before the ball gag, that's on her.
Oh,
Matthew.
Contract law. Gotta know about the safe word.
Meatloaf. So he'll do anything for love, but I won't do that.
Right? That's the safe word. Meatloaf.
Mongo.
All right, so do you believe the light bends? I mean, you do. We do know that light bends.
And
I have glasses on, right? But is there a fish tank in front of me and the distant objects?
yeah, the way you guys think bending of light is completely than what reality is, So please.
There is atmosphere, and there is a
amazing.
Right, but what
effect,
what level of density is there 1 foot above the surface of the water? Is it the same level of density all the way to the bottom of the pillars of Habitat and Hill House. It's the same level of density, right?
No. It changes based upon the temperature of the water, air current, water currents. It changes based on light.
So it's not 14.7 psi. It's not 14.7 psi.
Not always. Not
1 foot above the surface of the water.
Not always. It's a highly variable thing.
Sure.
Hey,
Go ahead.
Hey Larry, it's safe to say that if there's a Glober that sees that photo that Deken posted and still believes that it's a ball, like then there's just zero hope for that, bro. I like how at the end Deken he said that, if it's curving away from you, but then if you can see from one side to the other, it's completely flat. If you're looking at the side view, right, and that there's nothing curving about that, it's just perfectly horizontally straight. If you can't grasp that, then just dude, it's a dead end. Don't even like engage, bro. Like those who are meant to know the truth are going to grasp that and realize, oh shit, it's not a fucking ball. Anything beyond that, like it's a waste of time, bro. And I like Matthew. I like you, Matthew. But it's a waste of time to spend on you trying to like a child can understand this, bro. I'm sorry. I'll shut up. I jumped in. My bad.
Good points. Anyways, good points.
Shut up,
Respectable points. Mad respect for that.
It also could be the parasites.
Yeah, in Matthew's brain for sure.
I don't think I have any parasites in my brain.
Yeah, you don't think a lot. I know that. Ha!
Well, I mean, Matthew, you got parasites in your body, right? Or are there parasites in your body?
Probably.
For sure.
Is your brain in your body?
Yes.
I've never seen it.
So what's the barrier that keeps them from migrating in the bloodstream to your brain?
The blood-brain barrier, and most parasites are in the human gut.
Okay, except for the pineal gland, which is outside of that blood-brain barrier, which is what connects your left brain to your right brain. So it could be there, right?
I don't think the gut bacteria typically makes its way to the brain.
No, I never said gut bacteria. I said parasites. Parasites move about the body, right?
Most parasites are in your gut. I don't think there's many parasites. If you have parasites in your bloodstream, it's a big problem. You're pretty sick of that.
Hey, it might be other spirits besides parasites. It might be something else. You might need an exorcism.
As a blood-bought believer in Jesus Christ, I don't have evil spirits dwelling.
You believe in Jesus?
Right.
Jesus Christ. Well, that's ironic as fuck.
That guy.
You gotta go read Genesis, my guy.
What is that? I think Jesus Christ is real.
Well, no, that's fine. Go read Genesis.
I have.
Okay, so it's pretty flat in there. Firmament, it explains everything to you there, bro.
Actually,
Psalms 19:1. You know what that is?
Yeah, the heavens declare the glory of God. The sky shows His firmament.
Yeah, the firmament, my guy.
What? It doesn't say sky.
None of that actually is incongruous. You can. That's the whole thing. No, that's why the Quran was able to go and have a globe earth.
No. The Quran is flat, my guy. A lot of Muslims, I will tell you that there's a lot of pacts. Yeah, there's a lot of. I know a lot of Muslims that know it's flat, buddy. Don't even start that shit. There's an actual big debate in the Muslim community, which there are the fucking heretics, the fucking evil motherfucking Muslims that are trying to fucking say it's a globe. Just like there are evil motherfuckers in the Christian side that are trying to tell them everybody it's a fucking globe. You know, the heliocentrists, the fucking sun worshippers, the fucking Luciferians. Exactly. Well, the guy said he's in the Illuminati.
Well, Vlad, when you talk about the sun worshippers, it's actually the fake sun worshippers because they worship the sun that is drawn by men. They don't worship the
who worships the sun? I don't think there's any modern day sun worshippers.
They replace the real sun that we observe created by God, and they replace it with a fantasy globe with the cartoons. And
yeah. I get you. I get you. I understand what you're saying. But I'm just what I'm saying. You know, and they say there's no modern, there's a lot of things in your face, and then they always have a sun in it. Sun worship.
Yeah, it's
Even
like the
even the
cartoon worship.
Beatles, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. The Beatles were singing about that shit, my guy. Lucy, Lucifer in the sky with diamonds. Diamonds, the stars.
And then they draw cartoons.
Actually, they were talking about LSD.
I know. Lucy, Sky, Diamonds, LSD. I know, but then it's double meanings. They do fucking double meanings everywhere.
Comes the sun.
Actually, the structure up in heaven, the center of the sky, looks like a diamond from the ground. So yeah, they might be talking about that. Diamonds in the sky, the shape of it looks like a pyramid up top of a pyramid. So that might be that.
I know, man. I know everything about LSD. Don't worry. Don't fucking worry about that.
Maybe LSD gives you like a electro-optical view of the sky.
Oh, buddy, LSD. I literally literally looked at my fucking white wall while I was smoking, and I was like fucking 3 hits in, I think, and I was listening to the wall, the whole fucking album, right? So I did like all 3 albums, Dark Side of the Moon, Obscured by Clouds, The Wall, even fucking The Animals. I even got like I threw out the whole trip, right? And at the one point when the wall was kicking, when that fucking kick, just pumping on one of those songs, I saw that fucking crazy, like in the smoke, all this shit was forming, these images and crazy, like real fucking vivid images. I still remember how it all looked like. It was crazy. I was like, no fucking way. No fucking way.
Did you see the globe?
No, buddy, it's fucking, I looked out towards the horizon, I'm like, holy shit, that motherfucker looks so flat right now. It was great.
Line? Like a line that doesn't curve?
No, it doesn't curve. Nothing fucking curves. Only when it's waving. But it does do the waves.
Vlad, how far was that shoreline that you took the photograph, the lights, how far was it?
Well, that's 30 miles across, bro.
That's stumped Matthew.
Well, that's what I'm saying. 30 miles, bro. It's over for the globe. It's been over for the globe so long, and I've been telling people, yo, listen, I live in Toronto, my guy. Fucking that shit, I see it sometimes, not always, because there's other conditions that happen. But I've seen the lights across that fucking lake, my guy. Even the crazy part, I actually one day I actually put my face right next to the water. Guess what? I could still see them fucking lights. Direct line of sight, baby. Direct line of sight.
That's better than the Black Swan.
Oh, I know, man. I made sure that I have other pictures, but this one I think is the best because it's the S22 Ultra, man. Night mode, it's so good. I had to literally stand there and fucking let the exposure hit it for like 2 seconds. Yeah, it has to expose the sensor.
What do you think about that, Lunatic? The geometry of the globe is being debunked by Vlad. What do you think about that?
I don't have the scientific answer for that. But I still don't. I'm not convinced. I'm just not.
I'm not here to convince you, bro.
Reality doesn't convince you? Reality doesn't convince you?
No.
What you see, and what is are not necessarily the same thing.
Yeah, sure.
You can't trust reality, man. Don't trust it.
No, man, you can't. Obviously not, bro.
Exactly.
He's been programmed, right? He's one of those 17 years in the military guys. He's programmed to the tits, so it's gonna be hard for him to get through this. He's gonna start crying. I know military men that try to take their lives after finding out the truth. So
yeah, I know a few of those guys myself.
So it's gonna be really hard for these guys. They're really programmed.
Hey, Deken, you said it's 30 miles away. What is it laterally from left to right? You said over 100 miles?
Like, yeah, over 100, yeah, for sure. Just Google Lake Ontario, man. It's right there. It gives you all the dimensions on. Yeah, Lake Ontario. That's Lake Ontario.
If it's over 100, it doesn't even matter, bro. They're done from the beginning. They're done.
Oh yeah.
There's no point in arguing. Those who are meant to grasp the truth will grasp it. Those who are not, there's those that are made for the day of wrath and those who are made for the day of righteousness, bro. It's easy as that, bro. Like if you're gonna separate, that's it. Those you either know the truth or you don't. If you're not meant to know the truth, you're gonna be given a strong delusion to believe the lies, and that's it, bro. It's easy. It's very simple. We're sifted like wheat, bro, from the thorns and briars. It's very simple, bro.
Yes, whatever you said.
The globe is very greedy, man. I'll say that. According to them, man, it lies to them all the time. According, the Earth's just lying to you, man. You're spending shooting through outer space millions of miles an hour, but you feel like you're standing still. I get it.
Like an abomination.
He's just lying to you, man. You see?
The globe is abomination. You know how they lie to children and tell them that they live in a cartoon? It's
amazing.
And how men defend these lies and they think it's okay to tell this to children? It's disgusting.
Pretty wicked, man. I give you that. It's wicked wrong. Shit. Fuck.
These are the ones that boys they can be girls and girls can be boys. Same people.
No, the only Beatles song that's really good, because I really don't like the Beatles. Like I've listened to a lot of their shit, but it's not that good. But the only song that I really, really like, there's only one song. It's She's So Heavy. That song is so fucking good, and it's not like their other songs. Like She's So Heavy is the most original song from the Beatles.
Yeah, that and Yard Blues is pretty good.
Yeah, the rest of them are just garbage, bro, garbage. And same with let's say Queen, right? Queen. The only fucking there's only 2 songs in Queen that I like. The rest of them I can't even stand listening to Queen. It's Bohemian Rhapsody obviously is the best one, and then
Fat Bottom Girls.
No, I don't know. That's a pop song. It's so shit.
Well,
I'm
super pop. Anyway,
under pressure.
Another one rides the bus.
No, another one bites the dust. No, I don't like that one.
We Will Rock You.
No, fuck, man, you guys just naming all the.
What about The Fool on the Hill by the Beatles? Any Glovers like that song? It's about you.
I hated Jimi Hendrix for the longest time, and then.
Oh, I love Jimmy. Jimmy, man, Jimmy's the bro.
Probably about 6 years ago now, I suddenly heard it from a different point of my life, and all of a sudden it's like it suddenly spoke to me.
Oh fuck me, man.
Glovers are the guys that when they're given an order to go massacre people, they'll do it.
Jesus.
That's the order.
That's true, man. That is fucking true.
It's gotta be great.
Hey, the boss said we're gonna go kill the children. We gotta do it.
I know that happened in the Bronze Age a lot before the globe model, right?
But when the flat earthers don't join the military, right? They have to start taking, foreign nationals, right? And they say, "Oh, we'll give you citizenship as long as you come fight for us." And then eventually, our own military would turn on us and kill us, no problem, because they're not from here anyway.
Yeah, but you realize that in the Bronze Age, like most armies were made up of flat earthers, right? It's not like flat or globe Earth has any bearing on whether or not you'd be willing to kill people in an army.
Whatever you say, Glober.
Well, I will say that the Globers will win because
that's what a Glober will say.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Oh wow,
because
a
I
Glober
remember.
would point out facts. Shocking.
I remember.
Yeah, sure.
Carl
That's not a
Sagan
fact.
saying
Were you there in the
something
Bronze
about
Age? Were you there in the Bronze Age? How's that a fact?
This guy thinks that every man was killing other people in the Bronze Age.
Yeah.
I never said that, obviously.
You said something so stupid it's crazy.
Obviously, the men that were doing that were globetards. Obviously.
How are they flat earthers?
In the Bronze Age, before the globe model was understood, they were.
That model didn't become popular until like the 1500s with the Protestant Reformation and the subsequent Counter-Reformation. They could not beat Martin Luther on a one-on-one debate, so what did? They hijacked the narrative
You're
with the
getting a little bit off
colleges.
topic there. The point was
No,
just
I'm
that
not.
back in the Bronze Age,
And
the
you're
globe
interrupting.
model
I'm
was
not.
not prevalent.
I'm helping your point. I'm arguing for your point. If you'll just let me finish my point, maybe you can understand it. So before the 1500s, the majority of the population, simpletons that weren't part of the mystery schools, were flat earthers. So you wonder why your Bible's a flat earth book, your Quran's a flat earth book, but books after the 1500s started incorporating the globe. That's because of Copernicus and many others. Thanks.
Well, none of that had to do with the point, but okay.
Well, the simple fact is that if the flat earthers and the globers got into a war, the globers will win because their artillery is going to hit on target. You guys are going to be like 84
Not at
meters.
all, bro. The Globers are gonna miss
You
all
guys are going
day.
to be 84. You guys are going to be like 84 meters off every fucking time.
Refracted target over there. How can he's refracted? Coriolis effect. Which way are we facing? Meanwhile, the flat earthers are like, you see that guy? Shoot him. That guy that's shooting at us? Shoot him. He's not refracted. He's not Coriolis affected. He's right there where your fucking sights say that he is.
He
Well,
doesn't do
you
it
guys
for
are going to miss a
cornhole.
lot. That's all I'm going to say. And that's fine.
The Globers are gonna be missing because they're taking account fraction, and they're like, oh, that you see that hill? It's not there. You see that target? It's not there.
You guys are going to be out of bullets because you guys are going to keep on shooting at these.
Oh my goodness!
Attacks,
Do
you're
you
not
really
going to hit
think
with
that
your
for
grenade.
1 second, man? Please, somebody end this shit super fast, man, because we've talked about this going back to 2015. Fuck, I've talked to fucking a dozen snipers in here, and they ain't counting for fuck all nothing.
Fuck all nothing, he said, bro.
When
Did
did
you
you
guys see?
Oh my god.
Well,
ain't no fucking
did you guys-
Coriolis. Fuck off. No way, man. Fuck
Did
no
you
way.
guys
So the
see?
world record is Canada. The guy was over 2 miles away. He killed 3 of them. If he was standing up, which he was, and it was a refracted target, which it wasn't, and he killed 3 out of 4 of the fucking targets, which he did, that's pretty fucking coincidental. So all you coincidence theorists, you can believe that all you want, right? But I don't think that's what fucking happened.
I don't know.
It was a Canadian too.
Listen, the guy in reality didn't take the guy in reality that accomplished this didn't take into account the globe. But then the guys that believe in the fantasy talks about cartoon and how the Globers will win the war. But that's cartoon, right? Because the guy just mentioned in reality this didn't take into account the globe. So there you go.
Did you guys see last week that Tucker Carlson was asked about the flat Earth?
Bro, no.
Amazing.
He shilled all the way. He was like, no, NASA.
Tucker said,
what happened?
Tucker Carlson, in response to being asked, he said that he wouldn't rule anything out, but he specifically brought up the sniper's bullet thing as his proof against it. So that's why I brought it up, because it's relevant.
I don't think
so. It must be true.
I don't think Tucker Carlson is a good authority on fucking anything.
That Tucker
He is,
guy, man.
he knows
I don't know
the
about
shape,
all of them, man.
He knows the shape.
Shit.
Listen,
I
Neil
any of
deGrasse
them.
Tyson guy, he says it's pear-shaped. It's pear-shaped Earth.
Right. Neil deGrasse Tyson says the Earth's pear-shaped, man. Shit. Who you gonna believe? Fuck.
Yeah, and
No,
he's
where
one of
did
the
it
high
end, man?
priests. You
Where
gotta
did it
listen to him.
He didn't say pear-shaped.
Yes,
Yeah,
he
he
did.
did.
Yeah, he did. It was
No,
supposed
he
to
said
be it's pear-shaped.
Pear-shaped. It's like pear-shaped.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, like that.
Don't make me
No.
bring
He
my
said the
video.
Earth had a fat bottom.
Bro, I gotta
So
get the
he
video.
said the
I'm
Earth
gonna
is
go
thick
get
as
it.
fuck.
Let's go get the video.
I'm gonna go get him saying it. He says it. Pear-shaped Earth.
Can we
Well,
screen
the Earth
share?
is thick
Can
as
you,
fuck,
can you
boy.
screen share it? Can somebody scare share it?
I will do it. I will do it.
All right, cool.
I got my dad saying it today. I was talking about it. I was like, Neil deGrasse Tyson says pear-shaped. He said it is. He's like, well, it's not pear-shaped. It's more like an egg. I'm like, damn it. Always with the damn paving mechanism.
The pear-shapedness of the Earth.
The donut-shaped Earth, bro.
Y'all know that there are spherical pears, right?
That we have too many different ways that we describe it as spherical, as roughly spherical, as oblated spheroid, as
Who's letting this guy talk? Oh my
So,
god.
Lunatic, what do you think about the high priest Tyson's face pear-shaped? What do you think about that? The high priest.
Have y'all ever seen a spherical pear? Because
Lunatic, what do you think about the high priest saying it's pear-shaped?
He's in denial.
I trust him more than I trust,
Trust you guys more than I trust you guys.
That's why he's your priest.
Hey, he's the priest of the religion, so you better trust him, right?
No, I just think he's probably got more of enough. Probably got more information than I do.
Yeah, but he's a
Well,
leader of
earlier-
your religion.
No, he doesn't.
He's a leader.
No, a religion would say that I get. A religion would say that I would care.
Okay.
What?
Only 3.5 minutes, or it's only 4 minutes. It's only 4 minutes long.
All right, I'll watch it with you. Let's do it.
Neil deGrasse Tyson explains how the Earth became pear-shaped.
Might go full screen on this shit.
The expert's gonna hook us up.
Hey, Lunatic, you gotta watch this because you gotta get up to date with the correct science. Go ahead.
Black Science Man is gonna let us know.
You've seen the pear-shapedness of Earth. Now you need to know how it happened.
Why did you say black? That bothers me.
That's the meme, Black Science Man.
Don't do.
We can't hear it. We can't hear it.
Don't do shortcuts to thought.
You gotta put the volume up. You gotta press right click.
No, but it's only when Russians, you can talk shit about Russians though, it's no problem. They talk shit about Russians all day.
I can't get it up, y'all gotta turn it up.
No,
You've seen how pear-shaped the Earth is. Now here's how it happened.
Look how he has cartoons on his side.
Hey, Deken, I messaged you. Can you check for that?
There, he said it.
I'm all busy playing a game, my guy.
We can barely hear it, but you heard him say pear-shaped in this, right?
He also said slightly.
Still said pear-shaped,
slightly
no?
bigger than the tallest mountain.
He said it's slightly.
Yeah,
slightly.
he said,
When he talks about
taller than Mount Everest.
now when he's
That's
saying
what I
when he's
noticed.
saying
Yeah, I
now when
linked
he
it.
says difference between sphere and slightly pear-shaped is he's talking about a perfect sphere versus
We know
an
that.
imperfect sphere.
He said the boulder is higher than
A picture of the imperfect sphere. That'd be great. Thanks.
Sure, Jack, you gotta get closer to your mic, bro. Because you're kind of quiet.
I want a picture of the damn not perfect sphere.
Well, now we got to go over the field goal because Neil deGrasse Tyson also claimed that the field goal was good because of the Coriolis effect.
You just do a quick calculation for Coriolis and you score a field goal.
I figured I want to know. I want you to show me a picture of a flat Earth.
Go outside.
You literally go get one right
I just
now.
gave you an image that I took, bro. Did you not see it? Literally, I gave you a fucking
Yeah,
image.
but that doesn't count because his mantra says refraction. So he just says his
He
mantra.
asked for a picture.
No, I want a hole.
When Neil,
There's no such thing as a hole. You never had a whole ball.
Bro, Neil.
Google a picture of Earth from space. Google a picture of Earth from space, my guy, and then show me which of those images on Google is real.
Yeah,
I'll wait.
He wants a cartoon to replace
Oh, he's gonna show cartoons. That's the fucking point,
I told him
He's
earlier
asking
about-
for something, but he can't provide it from his end.
When you're doing that, also search for the solar system. You're gonna see cartoons as well. That's what you be tuned.
He likes cartoons, bro.
It's crazy, bro. These kind of questions are
Clovers
ridiculous.
are actually tuners.
And then he's gonna pull up D Marble's picture, right? Because it's probably the best one. And the guy said he put it fucking all stitched it together, literally fucking painted it together. It's like holy fuck. That's
yeah, Robert Simmons. He said, "quote It's photoshopped. It has to be." Unquote.
It has to be
That's the blue marble.
photoshopped.
Yeah, that's the blue marble.
The blue marble.
I
Do you
told you.
say D marble or the blue marble?
The blue marble.
The original Earth image was from when they faked the moon landing.
1972 was the other one, right? Apollo 17. Yeah.
Yeah, you can trust the government. You can trust the government. Why would they lie?
I still want a picture of the oblate.
Well, he worked for them for 17 years, right? So it's kind of programmed into his head. He has to.
So, Lunatic, do you think it's okay that these people are teaching this religion of the globe and space to children?
Yeah, like Apollo.
Absolutely.
Who's Apollo? The Apollo mission. So they wanted to reinforce their sun god religion. And what did they do? They said they went halfway to the moon and turned around and took a picture of the Earth. So you could see it as a sphere.
Okay.
It's the cartoon globe religion. The cartoon sun religion.
You saw it on TV. It has to be real.
I just put a picture in the chat.
Was that from? That was from the latest Artemis mission or something.
No,
like that.
no. This was a Japanese.
It's the Japanese one. Okay.
Yeah.
They have better CGI. They have better CGI. You know, it's the Japanese.
It was
Well, I mean,
taken...
it does look pretty fake, and that's how you know it's real, because if they did fake it, they would fake it much better than that real shit. So it's definitely.
As you can see in the picture, there's like a little dark spot over Australia because when it was taken, Australia was experiencing an eclipse.
Fuck off.
No way.
Fuck off.
This guy's definitely trolling. If you
So it's just
believe
airbrushed the eclipse on there. They're like, hey, at the time that we say we took this, there's supposed to be an eclipse going on, so make sure you don't let that detail slip.
Wait a minute. Do you know how wide the shadow is on a solar eclipse?
No. Why would I know that information off the top of my head?
Because I do.
Miles across.
Okay, so what is it?
62 miles. 62 miles across. So.
Wait, let's
from 238,000 miles away, you're gonna see a 62-mile dot that size.
Where did you learn that?
It's called the path of totality. Look it up.
It's called the shadow of totality. Check it out, man. Don't believe me. This is what they say.
That looks. I mean, if the radius is 3959, that does look a little bit more than 62.
You think?
I mean,
it looks like more than 62 miles. Oh my goodness! No kidding. It looks like
The math doesn't math, my friends.
2,000 miles, really. Or 1,000 miles, or 500, or some fuck. I don't know, but it's way.
Okay, so when I looked it up, it said the width of the shadow band fluctuates based on the moon's apparent size and can extend to 250 kilometers, which, let me calculate that in miles.
That's a number.
What do you think about this picture?
So that's about 155 miles. So I don't know where you got 62 from.
All right, well, let's go with 155. I'll give you that. It's 238,000 miles away.
Okay.
You can see something that big.
No, hold on. Hold on.
No, I ain't gonna hold on. No, this is a fucking valid point. You're gonna see something 155 miles across from 238,000 miles away. Is that the claim?
Well, for the measurement of the totality, you're not just seeing, like, there's also the partial eclipse radius. So it is a little bit bigger than just totality. Because
Actually,
totality is only the radius where you have a total eclipse, not a partial.
Penumbra, yeah, I know all about the number penumbra.
Okay, so I don't think it's outlandish to think that you'd be able to see it.
Okay, man, far out. Good on you, bro. Good on you.
Wait a minute. So there's an umbra and penumbra, right? So if there's an umbra and penumbra, that means that light doesn't travel parallel, right?
Ooh, ain't that a bitch? Fuck.
Is that true? I mean, if the light is going from the top of the sun to cross itself on the bottom of the moon, and the light is going from the bottom of the sun to cross itself on the top of the moon, that's how you create the umbra and penumbra in the diagram. Is that right?
No.
Globers?
Well, the light travels in all directions from the source, so.
No,
Right.
you're not. But you're not taking into account. You're not taking into account the partial. I mean, everything from a non-existent to a partial. You're gonna end up with light being spilled all over the place.
Right, but where it's partially eclipsed, that's not the totality. So that's people can see a part of the moon blocked out, right?
Part of the sun blocked out. You mean?
Part of the sun.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. I'm sorry about that.
Solar. Yeah, we're on the solar eclipses.
Well, there's gonna be a part where you're not seeing anything. There's gonna be a part where you're gonna see some, and then and of course the effect gets greater the more that the interference is.
You can see some of the moon while during a partial solar eclipse.
Bro,
well, yeah. When you're looking, if you're looking through the glass, you're gonna see the shadow.
Lunatic.
You see the shadow.
Fenry's not. The wolf's not actually eating it.
So what I'm asking, man, is can we see any of the moon features during a solar eclipse or partial solar eclipse or
probably on the edges.
Okay, I've been looking for that information, man, and I haven't been able to find it. So if you know somebody,
probably
hit me
on
up.
probably
shoot
on
me
the
a
edges.
DM, man.
Just shoot this. I mean, just looking at it logically.
I've been looking for it for years, but that's okay, man. I'll look it up, man. Promise me. I'll look it up.
Hello, Lunatic. Is this image a cartoon or a photograph?
Photograph.
Which one are we looking at?
Lunatic.
The Japanese one that I had posted.
Japanese one. Oh, the Japanese moon shot of Earth.
Besides, well, the one that he posted, I think, is a waste of bandwidth. But okay.
So is that a photograph or a cartoon? Which one?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Is it a cartoon? You say yes to a cartoon?
It's definitely a photograph and a cartoon.
All right, cool. I appreciate you being honest. Appreciate it.
Yeah, bro.
Because it started as a photograph, probably, and then it turned into a cartoon.
Oh, wow, okay.
Through
It
animation.
evolved. It evolved, right?
It evolved from a photograph to a cartoon?
Right. It went through computer processing. That means it's a cartoon after it goes through the computer. Is that what you're saying?
And then somebody altered it.
Yeah, somebody put it in the computer.
And animated it.
It's like I can't get my point across.
Well, I'm not understanding the point.
Is there a difference between a photograph and a cartoon? Is there a difference between those two?
You're phrasing the question as a trap.
Well, this image that was posted by Critical Base Theory, what do you think it is? A photograph or like a CGI rendering?
What, the Japanese thing?
Yeah.
The kid wiggling his finger?
No, the Earth picture from the moon.
Oh.
The last one I posted.
When you post?
I don't know.
The last one I posted.
I don't know.
That one.
I also don't care. That's the key to all this. It's the key to this is I don't care.
Well, that's not a great attitude to have. But
hey,
I understand it. You can live your life not giving a fuck, man. That's cool.
No, the thing is it's a picture. It's interesting. I don't know if it's real or not because I don't know the source.
Honest answer, man. I appreciate that. 100%.
The answer is that it's a photo, not a cartoon.
And that honestly, man, because we don't get that a lot around here. So appreciate it.
You don't know.
You don't know is the answer. I don't know. Could be fake, could be real. Like I don't know. I'm in the same boat, dude. I don't know. I'm gonna go. I don't know. And that the people don't like that. They'll just defend this to the death. They'll be like, no, it's real. Look at the shadow on the cliff.
So Lunatic, possible that someone posted this as a photograph, but it's actually not a photograph? It's just a CGI rendition of some sort, like
I don't
made.
know. I don't know the source of it, so yeah, it could be anything
don't know.
without knowing the source.
But I
It
want
could
you
be
to
anything.
care.
That's the That's the difference. That's the difference between that right there is the difference between me going, well, oh, this guy on the internet said shit, and
Yeah.
me actually knowing more about me knowing more about it and going whatever. Are you googling some shit and fucking me going, well, I you know I worked on with I worked around radars. I worked with it worked within the electromagnetic spectrum. I understand
We
all
want
of
to.
these different things.
We want to keep you around here, man. We're gonna piss you
So you
off. Give
worked
me
with
up.
some devices, but you ever build them? No. Okay, so please
So
don't
so
start
I
that.
here's
fixed
what's
them.
funny though. Here's
I
where
Amazing. You
fixed
changed
them.
you changed the capacitor.
ear-
Amazing. You changed the fucking capacitor. Amazing.
earlier
I,
I caught like
I, re-
some parts of Nicktoon's stream,
oh,
and they were
oh,
making fun of people that don't believe in the heliocentric model by saying they don't know how to do math. And so because
We don't have
somebody
that.
doesn't know how to do math,
I hope you
that
smile.
makes the world a ball. It's fucking ridiculous, bro. These guys are fucking retarded.
I did
How many
some math.
people know the actual history rather than the government prescribed history?
why does it come on? Why does it come down to government?
What does public mean?
Everybody's. It's public. It's available to everybody. That's what it means to me. I could be
Public
wrong.
and government is synonymous, right? So public school is government concentration camps, indoctrination centers.
Backwards.
Okay, okay. So which government?
The United States corporation?
Government.
Well, I went to school in England, so that argument goes away.
Oh, it doesn't matter where you go to school. You get globe
went to a-
indoctrination everywhere.
I went to a private school in England.
Let me guess,
Amazing.
Hebrew school?
I even went to a Church of England school.
Ah,
You don't have a
Freemason.
government there?
What? I had to wear a uniform and everything. I was retarded.
So you went to a government school, Church of England, right?
No, it wasn't government. Church of England is a not government thing.
I thought those two things were like tied at the hip.
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
I'm ignorant. I'm incorrect.
That's like saying that a Catholic school in the United States is a government school. No, funding is completely different.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of Catholic colleges that I'm pretty sure get funding from the United States government grant and whatnot. So I don't know how it works in England though, because I've never been there.
Essentially, it was made by the King
There's
Henry
also-
VIII, right? So
there's
he, like,
also government.
technically
There's
goes
also government. You can also say that flat Earth is funded by government too, because of some medium that you use that is government funded. It's not. It's a
Whoa, where can
non-argument.
I get the government money at? Can I
Yeah,
get like
please.
a flat Earth grant?
Apply for it.
I would love it.
Yeah.
Let's
the
apply for it, Larry.
flatearthgrant.com.
Let's do that.
Make a flatearth.org. Declare it a religion. You get all kinds of funding.
That would
You
be
won't even have to pay
great.
taxes. You wouldn't even have
Well,
to
it was
pay
made.
taxes.
Sorry, it was made by King Henry VIII, right? So, Church of England.
I think they wrote a song about it.
You know that you do know that they've separated church and state. You do know that, right?
Give to Caesar's what is
I was
Caesar's.
given the origin story, to be honest. There's a lot of different themed public schools and private schools. Like
Yeah.
the boarding type schools are.
Mm,
I mean, yeah,
Anyway.
kind of the religious ones. To be fair.
Well, the Vatican's been a big part of teaching kids. We'll just stick with those guys. You know, I'm cool. I mean, I got a lot of Mexican friends, man. They're all Catholic. And I get it, man. You guys were learned some cool stuff, and you guys are into that. But they've been around a minute. They got their own damn city.
The Vatican,
but it's
Vatican.
not a country. But it's like Washington D.C. and Vatican. They're kind similar. There's a place in London called just London, and it's like not the city of London.
Yeah.
And it's like
It's
this
called,
couple
you're
of square blocks of all the money in the world. It's weird, man.
It's called the City of London, which is like.
Oh, there you go. I
Smaller
had it
district
backwards.
within.
Sorry, man.
Yeah, smaller
Yeah.
districts within London.
You're right.
The
I had
size.
it backwards. It's been a while.
It is a pseudo Vatican style. It's not part of the British Empire technically. Like
Exactly.
it's all
Like its
separate
own
to
little
everything.
place, just like Washington D.C. is its own thing, and
Yeah.
so is the Vatican. So you got the religion, you got the money, and then you got the muscle. America's the muscle, man. We're the war machine. So you got the trifecta. You got all three of those working together. Anyway, that's what I've heard. I can't verify any of it.
Interesting thing about the City of London is that even the Queen doesn't have authority there.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's like this separate authorities that are out.
It's got its own, I mean, like hypothetically, any kind of king or queen.
Well,
it's also very similar to the Vatican in the fact that it has Swiss guards.
Didn't she?
It's a city-state.
We've got all the Swiss guards, right?
Didn't
So
she
it's
go
very
down?
similar.
Died this year, right? The Queen this year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They had a big thing about it, I guess, on the television. I don't know.
Yeah, she might have died 2 years ago. They old footage like Bin Laden.
Actually, the Vatican, and the Church of England are actually some of your biggest allies. Vatican only just recently adopted the fact that the Earth is round and all that shit.
You know
that
what
was
they
under the current
adopted?
Pope.
I know something they adopted recently. They're like, gay marriage. We're good with that. I was like, what? Really?
Well, what's wrong with that?
Yeah, I don't know. I heard it the other day, man. This week, or last weekend.
What does gay marriage have to do with flat Earth?
I don't know, man, but it was the Vatican. We were talking about the Vatican.
Yeah. So what's wrong with gay marriage?
Nothing, man. Nothing at all. But the Catholic Church has been against it for a long time, man. That's all I'm saying. And now they're all like, it's good. We're good. So I'm just letting you guys know a little news.
They're like, sodomy is great.
How does that affect you in any way?
Doesn't affect me. It's just funny. It's hypocritical and ironic. Hypocrites and irony. That's all it is, bro.
Well, you don't have to worry about them having kids.
But you know what's funny though? You know what's funny? There's like this fucking tomb that they found in the Vatican with a whole bunch of baby bones, like fucking thousands of baby bones. Now what the fuck is that about, right?
Those are
all of a
just
sudden
relics of saints. Right? They just
okay.
part them out. They just part out the saints, and they put the relics in the ground.
There's 65 million. There's 65 million cases of bones in Russia. So.
Yeah. I know exactly. You know why the communists fucking came in there, right? And then just fucking slaughtered all the Russians. Yeah, thanks for reminding me, buddy.
That was very rude.
Let's not.
Yeah.
Let's not
See this American fucking idiot that doesn't know shit. Man, you should have never been in the military. They fucking destroyed your mind, bro.
We're gonna help fix it, bro.
There's no fixing this guy. I promise you, man. It's going in one ear and out the other, bro.
Dude, I got a crescent wrench, jackhammer.
Stalin was a great guy.
Give me a chance.
Stalin was a great guy, right?
See, this guy loves Stalin. See, it's funny.
He thinks it's funny because they were white people that died. It was the white party that got killed, right?
Right.
Was that Larry?
Yeah.
What?
He thinks it's funny because it was the white party that got killed in Russia. So that's okay. It's okay to be racist against white people and genocide the fuck out of them.
What?
Yeah.
You were laughing, bro. You were laughing. That's a lot of lies.
No. Well, no, I'm not. I'm not making light of the fact that there was atrocity. I'm making light of the fact that somebody's complaining about anything. When you
Complaining about anything. Jesus Christ, bro.
You could just,
Listen to yourself.
Apologize.
Listen to yourself. You're fucked, man.
The United
higher ground, man. Take the higher ground.
The United States.
Have a look at the horizon, man. It's flat. Take the higher ground. It's flat horizon, man. I checked it out myself. Vlad checked it out. I know Larry checked it out. A few other people in here. Even Matthew checked it out, man. Higher ground. You can see farther. Seek the higher ground, man.
No, I was 1 foot above the water. The water was up to my armpits, and I could see Ingleside on the bay 10 miles away from North Beach, Corpus Christi.
All right, seek the lower ground. Get down in the water. We can do this. Whatever it takes, man. Seek the higher, the lower ground.
No, but you know, okay, what's the population of white people, right? Like in the world, right? It's the lowest
12%.
percentage, right? And then all the other nationalities, right? They're like fucking like surpass us by so much. But yeah, let's kill Whitey, man. Let's kill fucking Whitey.
Okay, I got one. So this guy, he said he's a liberal, right?
Yeah.
But he's choosing the patriarchy cosmology. The cosmology of the white man is what he's holding dear to his heart. The cosmology of the patriarchy. You're not a very good leftist, bro.
Yeah, terrible.
I didn't say I was leftist. I never said that at
Okay,
all.
I know. You said you're a liberal. I apologize. I like to troll you a little bit. It's kind of funny.
There's a
patriarchy of the white man.
It's a sliding scale, brother.
It's a slide.
I know.
Slippery slope, man. Slippery slope. Be careful.
I'm just trolling you because you like the patriarchy of the white man. The cosmology of the patriarchy is what I meant to say.
Nothing wrong with that, man. Nothing wrong with that, by the way.
But it was brown people that came up with this.
Really?
You got a lot of brown. I'll ask him, man.
I mean, I know there was brown people in Europe. That's not a secret, but
yeah, but there was brown people. There was brown people in North. There was brown people in North Africa that were the first ones to do this.
Exactly. Yeah, there were some brown people in yeah.
Definitely brown people in Africa, bro.
Might have been some white people over there too, man. Might have been a couple of white dudes, man, hanging out, going, "Hey, man, the surf's cool, bro. Check it out."
Wait a minute. The mystery school started in Egypt. Well, actually, India. The first college was in India.
Mm-hmm.
But the mystery school started in Greece and Egypt, right?
You don't think that people were educated before that?
That's not what I said. I said mystery school.
I mean, the thing is that
total fucking straw man. You can't do that. Come on, take that straw man back. Put it in the fucking. Put it back in the head.
It was actually a leftist, probably.
People were figuring things out long before a lot of
Dude,
this.
that wasn't even close to what he said, and you just came out of nowhere and fucking shoved some hay out of the fucking bundle and went, "It's mine." And no, you can't do that. Straw man, totally. 100%. That was like one of the most blatant straw mans I've ever heard. Anyway,
don't use
can't do that.
Don't use the term straw man. Just tell me exactly what I did, and I'd say, okay, fine. I hate shortcuts. I hate shortcuts.
Well, I mean, Larry wasn't even close to saying that you thought he said something.
Yeah, I thought he said something. I thought he was meaning one thing, and I was like, no.
And you just jumped ahead. I just want you to be aware of it. I'm not like ridiculing you.
Oh, that's fine.
I'm not gonna cut you off, mute you or nothing. But just be aware that you did that. That was all.
Yeah, I accept it. I accept it.
All right, cool, man. We're good. We're all good. Carry on. Let's go. Moving on. Where we at, Larry?
Yeah, I was just going to prove him wrong about the Church of England getting money from the UK government. For the cathedrals, of course. Which, that would prove him wrong, I think, if I understood the article correctly. But yeah.
Wait a minute, am I in the flat earth group shit?
Yeah, if you just
Oh my
do
God.
a lot of listening.
The flat earthers. Oh my God, this is so amazing.
Did I do it? Did I fucking
All right, we're gonna mute you for a second. We gotta mute you for a second.
We got a genius in here. We got a genius.
Hold on, this is gonna be great.
Don't mute me.
Then don't scream. Then don't scream. Then don't scream.
Okay, I'll try to be quiet.
Oh my God, you guys are flat earthers. Totally.
I'll try to
I can't believe we found the flat
Fuck
earthers.
me. This person's drunk on a Tuesday night. Drunk women on a Tuesday night.
This is what I found.
Why are
I
you
totally
hating?
found it.
Nobody's hating. Nobody's hating.
I'm amazed.
Okay.
I can't believe it. You guys are awesome.
She's had too much to drink. I muted her for a second. We're going to let it get it out of her system. She's being really vocal, and I got a headache, and it hurts my ears. Well, ma'am,
Yes.
I want you to be able to speak. I do not want to censor you in any kind of way. I don't like oppressing
Totally,
women.
like, not for sure.
But I got a headache and I need you to stop doing that because I really can't handle it. So I'm going to mute you now and I'm going to expect you to govern yourself.
Welcome
Thanks.
to Flat Earth. Relax, relax. Listen,
Oh my
listen.
god, I'm just trying to make friends. I'm just trying to make
All
friends,
right, well,
bro.
just listen for like 20 minutes and then we'll get to you. Hang on.
Holy shit, 20 minutes is long.
No, it's not
No,
that
you
long,
don't.
man.
You don't got to stay quiet for 20 minutes. You just can't be loud. Maybe I should turn you down.
Trying to whisper. I'll try to whisper.
Just kind of like listen to the conversation. If you got something to add, cool, man.
Can I?
Anyway,
No. I don't want to interrupt. Sorry.
we had some pretty deep conversation going here for a minute.
I'm
but
so sorry. I fucked it up. I'm so sorry.
She's
I'm so new.
too
I'm
funny.
so new. I'm so sorry.
It's not gonna work out,
Oh,
man.
shut the fuck up. Oh my god, ban me, please.
Nobody wants to ban you. Just easily
Why
mute
don't
you
you
and that's it.
Don't ban me. I'm
She's
just
a
trying to make friends.
sadomasochist.
In this
I'm
game,
just trying to make. I'm just
Go
trying
get
to
pen
make
and
friends.
paper. Go get a pad.
I
Go
just
get a
want to
notepad
make
and
friends.
paper, pen. Yeah. Write things down.
All right.
Bro, I'm one of you, but I
Go
don't
up to,
believe
go
the
up to a
Earth is
different
flat.
channel. Go up there. Go up there to like LBGTQ or something. One of those.
I'm
channels.
not gay.
All right, well then go down to religion. What do you think?
Why can't I
She
stay
can
here?
stay here. She's got
Why
to be
can't I stay
quieter.
here?
You're just a
I'll
little,
try. I'm
just
just
a little loud.
excited. I'm excited.
You're like way over the top.
I can't help it. I
I'm not
have
a
high
mod.
energy.
I don't give a fuck. You guys want to deal with this
Invincible.
shit?
Have you
fine,
had too
man.
much
Go
to
ahead.
drink? Have you had a
No,
bit to
I'm
drink?
just excited. Why can't I be
Okay,
excited?
well, you can be excited. Just calm down. Your
You're
energy's way too high. You got to match our frequency. You're vibing way too high.
Holy
Yeah.
shit, I don't even know your
This is a
frequency
total
because you're
fucking
from
shit
Flat
troll
Earth.
shithole, man. Shit troll shithole.
What
I'm calling it.
frequency is Flat Earth on, bro?
Fuck this.
Just chill out.
We were doing great, man.
Can I make a joke though?
No, I'm gonna have to mute you if you don't mute yourself. Please govern
No.
yourself.
Come on. Okay, let me govern myself.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I'll shut up.
Yeah, just mute yourself and listen to the conversation.
Something's going on there,
I'm
man.
just trying to be friends, man. I'm just trying to be friends.
Okay.
Wrong
Be
approach.
friendly.
Totally wrong approach, by the way. Have a nice.
Why not?
It's a wrong
just trying to be
approach,
nice.
man. I'm telling you. Get out of here,
Hey,
man. Just go.
I've asked.
Thank you,
Asked
Larry.
nicely. I don't like muting
Heck,
people,
man.
but
I mean, come on. We don't.
it
Can't
was
take
just so high pitched. It was like a
Mm.
YouTuber or something trying to get views. I don't
Somebody
know.
was like doing a quick TikTok video or some shit and trying to dick around with us, man. That's what I think that was going on. Something like that. It was
Way
horrible.
too.
It's like we can't. No. We were in some great conversations about targeting and Coriolis and light
And Russian genocide. Yeah, we're all
Russian
about that.
genocides. We were Armenian
Yeah.
genocides. Yeah, we were getting into some stuff, man. I hope this isn't getting censored on like YouTube or fucking some.
Yeah, we gotta be careful because
Be careful, man. I don't want to take anybody's Discord away, man. It's fucking dude's fault, bro. What? No.
We can't say the D word. You got to say turkey's fried.
We are guests in a server that's pretty popular, and it's been a great place to come hang out, man. Don't want to fuck it up. You know, it does say 24/7 flat Earth. You know, so
Yeah,
we
you got to say turkey's
on
fried. You can't
topic,
say.
You
Can't say
know,
the other word.
just be. You know, I learned my lesson a long time ago, hard way. You know, I got called out, man. Dude, you can't talk about that shit on the Flat Earth Discord, bro. I was like, okay, I get it, man, because that's what we're here for, man. Is Earth, flat Earth, and there's a lot of complications with Earth as far as political and financial and whatever wars and shit. But at the end of the day, man, Earth is Earth, and it presents itself to us pretty easily. If you want to check it out, if you don't want to check it out, man, there's plenty of places to go. You know, go watch your fucking, TikTok videos and watch some sports and catch Taylor Swift or whatever. Yeah, do your thing,
Oh
man.
my God! I found you finally.
I was like screaming, like, this is so trolling, man. That's so bad, dude. It was bad trolling too. It was. I mean, I've heard some good ones, man. There's been guys throughout, years, man.
You know there's something wrong if I mute you. The last person I muted, I argued with him for an hour. Didn't mute him until he called my wife fat.
Oh, there you
Damn.
go. Oh, dang.
It always happens. It's always
That's
the
a
insult.
ban. Mute's different than a ban, man. I mean, you get banned for that shit. Fuck off. But mute, yeah. That thing was not. I think it was bannable, but anyway, it's not my server. I don't have mod.
Yeah, you know that you're winning the Globe Earth debate when you call the flat earther's wife fat.
Yep, you're done.
Oh, it's when you call him dumb. That's how it's like. Well, you're just not smart enough to understand it's a globe.
Well, that I've heard that a lot over the years from different people that are going through the.
That's when they're crying. They're crying at that point. You just don't understand.
Yeah, I mean that's what Brian Mullen was doing when he was making his videos. He's like, dude, wait a minute, what? This is what I learned in school.
Yeah, the Glober doxed him because that's how you win a debate, right? You dox the flat earther and you call his boss and try to get him fired. That's when you know you're winning the debate, right?
So George was the guy that ended up admitting that he was the one that called on the engineering board to go after Brian Mullins. And he admitted that. I heard him admit it live on YouTube. And I was like, and one day, man, I got him on a hangout and fuck me, man. I was like, so you're the guy that called the... I asked him, I go, hey, man, you're the guy that called and said Brian Mullins should lose his engineering license. He's like, yeah. I'm like, you motherfucking piece of shit, cocksucking bitch. I mean, I started just going, I just went off. I just went completely triggered on him. And I just called him every name in the book and he left. And that was it. That was the last. You know, I don't know. What else can you
This
do?
whole cancel culture thing, it's really disgusting, right? It's because you have different beliefs than I do. Therefore, you don't deserve to be able to feed your children.
Exactly.
How does that make
That's
any
why
fucking
I went
sense,
off
bro?
on George, man. I totally went off, man. I went off. That was the most triggered I've ever been in my life, man. Because that's fundamental to somebody's income. When you go and fuck somebody's shit up like that, you're a fucking piece of shit, man. Fuck you. You know? I don't give a
And because
fuck.
he was,
If
Brian
you think
Mullins
it's
was
fucking moral
waxing
or not,
on
it's not fucking
philosophically.
moral, you cocksucker. You ain't fucking call the authorities and say, that guy's a flat earther. Make sure he doesn't design any buildings or concrete or anything or whatever. Fuck you, man. I mean, that's disgusting.
Darren
And that
McCarran.
guy's a Catholic. Don't let him do it. That guy's a Irish immigrant. You know, don't. He's a Mexican. Don't. Yeah, fuck off, man. With all that, you can't do that. Anyway, it's a deep point with
You know what's
man.
funny is when the people that are in charge of the cancel culture think that they're the victims, but really they're the oppressors oppressing people and trying to get them fired.
Isn't that the most interesting part of it?
Right, they think they're the victims, but they're the oppressors.
Upside down.
How the fuck does that shit work? I'm the victim. I went to an Ivy League school, and I'm such a victim.
Did you guys get red pilled on that? Say that again, man, Larry. That was
Yeah.
stupid, man.
Yeah, how are you going to be the oppressor and trying to get someone fired,
right?
But you're somehow a perpetual victim at the same time. You're the perpetual oppressor victim.
Fucking communists. That's what it is. Fucking communists.
Fucking
yeah, communist.
Fucking commies, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Exactly what that is, man. Fucking communists.
He said something I don't agree with, so I'm going to be a Karen and call the manager. Stop oppressing me and fire him. Sick, bro.
Larry, real quick, man. I don't know. Do you guys know critical base theory?
Critical race theory. I don't know critical base theory. No.
What's a critical base theory? What do you think it is?
It sounds like the opposite of critical race theory.
I gotta give him for his name, man. I gotta shout out. That's a pretty good name, man. I mean, critical base theory.
Is that who's in here? Oh,
anyway,
wow.
He wants to be unmuted, man. I don't know if you guys know him or not or whatever.
Looks like he's been muted. Maybe he was talking about
Was he a bad boy?
World War II. I trust the other mods, even though I think they're heavy-handed.
Could be.
I bet he was talking
Could have been
about
a
World
bad
War
day.
II.
Could have been a bad. You can give him 5 minutes, see what he's got to say, man. I don't know. It's up to you. Hey, all right, just unmute him, man. I'm gonna vouch.
All right.
I got a good vibe for him, man. That's all.
I think Heretic muted him. That's why.
Yeah, he got muted immediately.
He might have been spiraling off into some illusion.
Oh, look, some Glober's giving us demands here. Unmute him now. Shut the fuck up.
I got this. Hey, yeah, I mean, it's up to you guys. You guys are mods, man. I'm nobody around here, man.
I unmuted him, and he immediately got muted by another mod.
All right, we'll leave it at that then. All right, moving on. What else do we got? We got bendy water or bendy light or bendy fucking something. Anything, you know. Somebody got a subject they want to bring up, some Coriolis or maybe some air pressure, whatever you're into. Curve, drop over distance, radius, circumferences. Yeah, we got it all here, man. Step right up.
I like how these pseudoscientists say that, you can't trust your senses when you look at the Earth, it presents itself as flat, but all we have is observational science.
That's a fact, Larry. We only have observational science, man.
According to the globe earthers, you can't trust your senses and look at the world when it presents itself as flat.
Well,
all we have is observational science.
Here's the funny thing, Larry, is that all of their documents for designing airplanes, they have a big giant book of how to build it and figure it out how to make it work. Is that in the first paragraph they say, hey man, you got to assume a flat stationary plane before you even build the thing.
You know why they do that though?
That's pretty interesting. Well, why would
Okay,
you
listen, Critical Thinker has promised that he's gonna take control of his diarrhea of the mouth condition, and he's not gonna overtalk or answer questions that were not being asked to him. Because earlier, I was asking a question to someone else, and he felt the need to answer for that other person. So now that he has promised he's gonna have control over his pie hole, then he can be unmuted. Go ahead.
Yeah, hey, I genuinely thought you were asking me the question. My bad if you weren't.
All right, Based. According to your name
of the other guy multiple times.
According to your name, you got a good foundation, right? That means you're completely capable of governing yourself and understanding morals and how it works, judging by the book cover. Is that correct, Based?
Well, based just means the opposite of cringe in this context.
Oh, well, I completely misunderstood.
Larry, he posted the cartoon photo from the moon to the earth and said that it's a photograph, so that's pretty cringe. The opposite of base.
Yeah, that's not very based at all. Yeah, you saw it on TV, right? I saw Bigfoot on TV. Do you believe in Bigfoot?
No, I didn't see it on TV.
Oh, why not? Why not, Based?
I think it's too improbable.
Right, but you can see the Earth on TV, and you can believe that, right?
I didn't see it on TV.
You didn't see the globe on TV ever? What are you, Amish?
No, I didn't have a TV growing up.
So you never had an iPhone with a globe on it? Never walked through a building and the TV was on?
Well,
movie theaters, Universal Studios.
But I have an iPhone. If you count an iPhone as a TV, then yeah.
Yeah, it's a modern television.
All right, man. It's a bit of a stretch, but sure.
So when I was a child, there wasn't very many channels on TV, right? Now everybody has a channel. They got this crazy thing called YouTube, where anybody who has access to the internet and a smartphone can, produce content for their own channel. It's weird. It's like the TV has evolved.
Instagram.
So are you skeptical, Based? Because, judging by your name, Are you a skeptic?
Yeah, The Emperor's New Clothes was my favorite story growing up. I would consider myself a skeptical person.
Excellent. What are you skeptical about when it comes to the so-called globe Earth model? What's the number one thing that you're skeptical about?
Well, I investigate any claim that's made to me to see if there's evidence to support it. So I'm skeptical of all things.
A true Berean. Excellent. So the claim is that the Earth is curved, spinning, and is adjacent to a near perfect vacuum. Is that correct?
I suppose so.
Right. So how do you verify that?
Well, you would have to use multiple experiments because those are all different things.
Agreed. But how do you verify that the Earth is curved?
There's tons of different ways to do it.
Just one.
All right, like the engineering of tow tanks.
Did you say toe tags?
Tow tanks.
Did you
Sorry.
say toe tags? Wait a minute, toe tags. Oh shit. That was hilarious.
Toe tanks? What are you talking about? What is
a tow tank? It's like really big, kind of like pools of water that they make for testing Navy ships.
And that's an experiment to prove the Earth is curved?
Well, it's because they have to account for Earth curvature when they make them because they're so big that they can't just make it completely straight and parallel because they need the same, um, like the same height between the water surface and the top of the tank. So they actually have to engineer them with a slight curve.
How do you know that?
Well, that's how their engineering specifications are.
Yeah, but how do you know that?
I gotta see this, man. Yeah.
Well, I can post
I've seen
like
they're like model boat
source.
tanks. They're like a model boat tanks. Are you talking about where
Yeah.
they run the boat through a model of water to see how it's going to react?
Yeah, that's the idea.
Okay.
And I can
I just wanna
post
make sure I'm
like
tracking.
a source for like the engineering of it.
I've seen some of those guys engineer those things. Yeah. Um, Here's the funny thing, man. Water, it's always level, man, when unmanipulated.
But you realize that level
Body
is
of
like is as like context dependent definitions, right?
Well, you
A
can say
level is curved?
that,
Well, one of the definitions of level is that it conforms with the curvature of the Earth. So it just depends on the context of that you're using the word in.
hey, do you know the curvature of the Earth by chance?
What do
Yeah,
you
toe
mean?
tags.
Are
I
you
mean, toe
asking like a
tanks.
unit?
Yeah. Do you know the curvature of the Earth? Yeah, that's my question. Yeah.
Well, but can you be more specific? Like, are you
I
asking
mean,
me like
what's
a
the
unit?
radius, a circumference, a diameter, whatever you got. You know any of it
Yeah,
without
isn't its radius like what is it, like 3,900 miles or something?
Okay.
Something around there.
Close 39, 59,
Yeah,
4,000.
okay.
I always call it 4,000 myself. Make it bigger than it. Let's make it bigger. Damn it. Let's make the Earth bigger. Let's make it whatever size we want. Hey, let's make it bigger. No,
So I've never heard. I've been doing this for a long time, like 8 years. I've never heard toe tanks as a proof for the globe Earth. So I have to admit, I'm going to be ignorant and not know what you're talking about. So how about we talk about how you would actually measure the curvature of the Earth, which would be long distance observations. So you know that they can see like Chicago from Michigan, and
Yeah.
yeah.
And
So
I just posted in the chat for anybody that is curious about like the engineering specifications of the curvature that they use in tow tanks. I just posted a link for it. But if you want to talk about like long distance observations, I'm happy to talk about those too. We could
right,
just talk about the world record for the longest line of sight photograph ever taken.
this guy knows his shit. This guy
Mount
knows his
Monaco,
shit.
the mountain.
Yeah, but it was taken, I believe the photo is of the Alps from the Pyrenees.
Right.
Okay.
So
Close enough.
what was it? 250 miles, something like that.
Yeah, 440 something kilometers, which I think is about that many miles.
253. I think it's 253. If I'm
Yeah,
not
somewhere around there. Yeah, sounds right.
It's a hell of a shot. So how much curvature would be, hiding that mountain? Like, how much of the mountain should be hidden?
Well, so the thing that I feel like is often left out in like calculating how much of things we should see is like you have to account for one, the curvature of the Earth, and then two, the effects of the atmosphere, right? So can we all agree on that?
Well, I mean, yeah, if the image is going from like the top of the mountain
Yeah, man. If
looking
I take
down
a
or from the
picture of it
bottom of the mountain looking up,
raining,
there's different layers of atmosphere, right? But if you're talking from the top of a mountain to the top of a mountain, what do you expect to see? It's going to be pretty close to the same psi at the same altitude, right?
Well, it's not so straight cut and forward as that, and it wasn't taken from like the
not
top of
so
the Pyrenees, just like midway up it.
be explained. It's basic.
But what I was kind of getting at more towards is that um like the lapse rate um is going to vary not only based on your elevation but also just based on like your x and y coordinates as well.
That's a lot of information there, man.
It's a weird way of saying refraction.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so refraction would be one of the atmospheric conditions that you would have to account for. So, like, the lapse rate is like a gradient of refractive indexes.
A gradient of refractive indexes.
Yeah, that's how you measure it, is with a lapse rate measurement. And you have to account for that. So, like, that longest distance, the longest line of sight photograph that we're talking about, the photographer specifically calculated what refractive conditions would need to be met for that photograph to be possible, and then he monitored the weathered conditions for weeks until such conditions presented themselves, and that's when he decided that that was the time that he was going to hike up midway to the Pyrenees to take that photo. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to have that photograph.
And what were the weather conditions like?
I don't know specifically. I know that on his website, the photographer who took the photos website, that's what he described, was that he had to monitor the weather conditions for the refractive conditions that he calculated he would need.
Sounds like a good. That sounds
So
like
now we got
good and smart.
So now we
Well,
got
yeah, you don't want to be
predictions.
hiking up the Pyrenees like every
On a
day to
foggy
check.
day, it's raining. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna hike up today, tomorrow, and backpack it up there with my tripod.
So now we got predictive refractive indexes, predictive weather patterns. So
Yeah,
you're saying he predicted it.
I'll link to the guy's website, the photographer's website, so that people can read about how he describes how he was able to take that picture. That is the longest distance line of sight photograph ever taken.
Yep. Yeah, we're quite familiar with the photograph.
Okay. So do you guys find it weird at all that the guy who took that photograph is not a flat earther?
Not at all, man. I think it's
No.
fantastic that he's not a flat earther. Actually, I think it's a great thing because we've run across a bunch of guys that have done this for us. Thank you very much. But they didn't even know they were doing it. They're just like, okay, whatever, man. I'm just taking a picture.
Well,
And
I mean,
that's a
he wasn't just like that lackadaisical attitude. I mean, he specifically set out to take this photograph.
He wasn't thinking globe or flat Earth, either one. He was just thinking,
Yeah,
how far can I fucking see, bitch? That's all he was thinking about. And he wasn't thinking about anything else. How far can I take a picture, motherfuckers? And he took it. And it's really, really far. But here's what Larry brought up and tried to bring up is that for us on a globe that has a radius of 3,959 miles, for us to take that picture, man, that mountain range should be how far below the horizon, Larry?
I believe
you
it's
can't
a mile.
possibly say that without accounting for refraction.
What do you
Fuck
mean?
off.
Well, that's the mantra that you globe earthers say, right? We can see too far, but it's because of refraction.
Can I just ask you why you guys have such an immediate visceral reaction to the word refraction? I mean, I just said the word and you said fuck off in response. Like, why is that?
Kenny's like that. It's he's just Kenny is a funny guy. He says "fuck off Mongols" like at least 20 times a night.
But I just want to understand, like, why is refraction such a dirty word? Why do you guys not accept that it's
It's
the
not, right?
explanation?
Because if you're talking about Snell's law, we're 100% behind you. Yeah, I have glasses on my face. I know what refraction is. But you guys are talking about this super refraction that happens where the light bends at 8 inches per mile squared, the same curvature rate as the Earth is bending, according to you guys. And if the refraction index goes
Yeah, I
up
see you
and the
guys,
light's bending more than
John
8 inches
Michael,
per
I'm
mile
okay.
squared, then the light would hit
Thanks for
the
asking.
ground and never your eye.
Yes,
Right.
that's all correct.
Hold on. So in this case, the sky's
Oh,
the limit for the top of the
you're
building,
pissing me off right now.
but for the bottom of the building, the ground or the water is literally the limit. So it would appear to disappear from the bottom up. But you guys always claim that, for 500 years, boats go over the horizon. And that's, what we teach the children. That's how you know it's a globe. Except for when we can see too far, then you claim refraction. But if the light were bending less than 8 inches per mile square, let's say 5, then the light would go over your head and you would never actually see it. And once again, the buildings would disappear from the bottom up. So it's kind of this you can have your cake and eat it too type thing. But the truth is, once you eat your cake, it turns into a turd and you no longer have it. So what is causing things to disappear from the bottom up?
Why would the light go over your head?
If the light is curving at 8 inches per mile squared and you're on the surface, you'll see the object in your model. But if it's bending at 5 inches per mile squared, then it's going to go over your head because the curve is not matching the curvature rate of the Earth. So the light path will miss you.
Do you think the light just leaves any point on any object in one direction?
Did I say that? Why would you think that I said that? You think I don't know about the inverse square law and light goes in all directions? Why would you say such a silly
You might
thing?
be right there, right? Sorry, I'm new to the forum. I hope I'm not cutting in.
Sorry, say that again, Ozzy.
Yeah, I think that you're right there, that if you imagine light curving, so you often see the diagrams like where they show a ray of light from the observer's eye going and bending across to see something, that you're right, you could probably explain bottom-up disappearance just purely through refraction. But what we see is a combination of things, right? So sometimes we can see, sometimes we can't, and we could need both things to describe what we see. So if you take a given atmosphere pressure gradient, and like this photo, you can just see the tops of the mountains, you can't see the bottom. And you need both things in combination to describe the final thing that you actually observe.
Did Scott
who's
mute
beeping?
himself, or was he muted?
Who's beeping?
I think Darren was beeping, but did Scott mute himself, or was he
No,
muted?
it wasn't. It's that
I don't know who Scott is.
Arabic characters guy was beeping it. He got
okay,
muted. Don't worry, he's muted.
My bad, Darren.
Yeah, that's right. No dramas.
So
Yeah, it's
did
a
Scott
combination
mute
of things, right?
himself, or was he muted? And if so, was there a reason for that?
I didn't mute him. I don't like to mute people. Okay, so we're talking about the light and what it does over the water, right? I think we've all just agreed that refraction can cause things to disappear from the bottom up. Does anybody disagree? So if nobody disagrees, silence is acquiescence. So we all agree. So we all just agreed that we've been teaching children a lie when it only took us, a couple years to think about this and discover that there's other reasons why things can disappear from the bottom up. We've known it for at least 2019, but still people say, if you Google it right now, how do you know the Earth is a globe? Well, ships disappear from the bottom up. So we're teaching children a lie on purpose, right? Like Newtonian gravity, which has been superseded by Einsteinian gravity.
Wait.
We're
Sorry,
teaching that
if we could
it's
just stick on
wrong.
the topic before going to Newtonian gravity or whatever, if we could just stick
Sure,
to
go ahead.
what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I think that while the what you're talking about with those refractive effects, that can it in certain like refractive conditions cause the bottom up effect. But the thing is that you can measure refraction, like measure the lapse rate, and you can account for it in your calculations and see if it really is the refraction that's causing the bottom up or if it's curvature that's causing the bottom up. Like you can tease those two variables out.
Well, the thing about science is when you control the variables and you manipulate the independent variable, which is your presumed cause, you could do that. But how would you remove the atmosphere to see if it was the atmosphere that was causing you to see further than you predicted?
I believe I just explained it, but I said that you measure the lapse rate, which is what is a measure of refraction, and then you account for those refraction effects for that measured refractive index in your calculations of how much you should see and what you should see.
Right, so I get that you're describing it. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we can measure the curvature due to light outside of the influence of any curvature of the Earth. So we can conduct experiments to measure that refraction of the atmosphere, model it.
All right,
physics
cool.
as
What's the
well,
independent variable of this experiment?
So the independent variable will be one of the two key variables, which will be pressure or temperature. You can't directly control it yourself, but you can measure that variable, right?
By itself.
So you can know what the variable is at the time you run the experiment. So you effectively have the variable changing independently, and you make the measurement.
I would also
So it has to be one. Just give me one answer, right? Independent means by itself, right? So what is the independent variable?
Can I answer?
Please.
Yep.
Well, I would just ask you about like the difference between an observation and an experiment. Like you can have like observations that
Okay,
would
it's a
not
red
have
herring.
like
Be quiet.
independent or
The
dependent
other guy
variables.
said that there's an experiment and he's talking about controlling variables. So in the scientific method, right, specifically, there's an independent, dependent control variables. I asked, what is the independent variable?
Right. I would just say that this
Not
is
you,
an
critical base.
observation.
Not you. Darren said there's an independent variable because he's talking about science. What is that independent variable?
It depends what you're trying to discover. So
okay, we're talking
there are
about a
multiple
simple
variables that
concept,
influence
right?
refraction.
Heat causes water
We
to
could
boil.
choose one independent variable like pressure. Pressure is one independent variable.
Okay,
If
so
we
how do
just
you
change
manipulate
that,
the pressure?
you wait, basically. That's
So
one way of
time is
doing
your
it.
independent variable. Okay.
No. Time's not the independent variable. You're waiting for your independent variable to be at a different position so you can make a new measurement. Even if you can't turn the dial on atmospheric pressure, you can establish conditions that are otherwise identical except for the one variable you're interested in, which is your independent variable. So you can develop the model over with just pressure changing and keeping everything else constant. It's difficult, right, in the atmosphere, and there are ways you can do it in a more closed experimental scenario. They build special chambers that have got very high precision measurements. They can create pressure, temperature gradients, and things like that, and they can measure this refraction in a laboratory setting as well. So those guys can control it, but historically it would have been established over time by building up a whole collection of data with different conditions and establishing the relationship between the independent variable and the outcome.
So when there's a low pressure system and the pressure changes, do other things change too, like the humidity, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? Or is there just a day where the pressure is the only thing that changes?
Oh yeah, there's going to be all sorts of things changing, right? So it is, like I said,
So
it's
how do you
hard to
control
control in
for
the
that?
real
You
world.
need an independent variable.
Yeah, that's right. And you need to be able to make sure that you can extract your independent variable from those conditions, but you can also do this in a laboratory where you can control those independent variables precisely.
So we're talking about long distance observations, and you're talking about in a laboratory. You do see that that's a false equivalency, right?
The refractive properties of light can be established, and then used over distance, right? We know how that works.
You say you know how it works, but how do you know if you can't control for variables?
You run multiple experiments. You make measurements of the environment, and you can...
How do you have an experiment if you can't control all the other variables and manipulate solely, that's redundant, the independent variable?
You can choose sets of observations where only your independent variable is changing and everything else is the same.
How do you change the independent variable without other things changing? Because the way I understand it, now maybe I'm wrong, I'm not a meteorologist, but when the pressure changes, other things change simultaneously.
Yeah, that's right. The things are interlinked.
So it's not independent.
No, you need to try and make it as independent as possible, right? But you can't necessarily fully isolate it, but you can or observe scenarios where your environment is changing in known ways and you know what your environment is, and you can establish the relationship between your independent variable and the thing that you're measuring.
Is it okay for me to ask Larry a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, you go. Yeah, I shouldn't cut you off.
Okay. Well, okay, so in this case, we were talking about how you can measure the refraction, like during your observation, you can just measure the lapse rate. And do you agree that if we have measured the refractive index, that we can account for it in our calculations? Would you agree with all that?
I don't know the answer to your question because I don't know what a lapse rate is. I'm looking it up right now.
It's like a gradient of refractive indexes. So it's how we measure. It's how we would measure what the refraction is at the time of our observation.
Hold on just a second.
I was also going to try and make the distinction between an observation and an experiment. And like, it's true that in like the full scientific method that you would have an experiment, an independent and dependent variable, but science is basically just testing your hypothesis, and you can test it with either an experiment or an observation. So like there are certain like an observatory is not doing an experiment, it's doing an observation, but you're still testing a scientific hypothesis.
Incorrect. I'll cite my source.
Can you maybe explain? Okay, yeah, I was just gonna say maybe explain why that you think that's incorrect.
Yeah, give me just a second. I'll cite my source.
Okay. I see Flat Dude just said Snell's law-ish. Nope, nope, nope. Maybe he wants to expand upon that.
I liked your reference to the towing tanks, by the way. I used to work in an organisation that has one. And I know the guys that designed it. It'd be interesting to have a chat with them about that. It's not very big. It's only about, it's 150 metres by 150 metres, but same deal. Depth's got to be constant.
Yeah, thanks. It was something newer that I came across in the last few weeks that I've been learning about. So it was fresh on my mind. That's why I brought it up.
This is not easy to share the way that I did it. Give me just a second. I apologize for the delay.
No worries. I mean, it's hard to like pull up links on the fly.
I'm just going to copy it. All right, so if you just give me a moment of silence while I read this. California Institute of Technology physicist Sean Carroll arguing in the edge that the hypotheses aren't simply useful tools for potentially outmoded versions of science. They are the whole point. A hypothesis is a special kind of prediction that forecasts how the independent variable will affect the dependent variable. The third one, hypothesis. The hypothesis should contain a prediction about the verifiability. For example, the hypothesis is true, then 1 should happen when 2 is manipulated. First blank is the dependent variable. It depends on what you're doing in the second blank. The second blank is the independent variable. You manipulate it to get a reaction. There should be no other variables in the experiment that may affect the dependent variable. So this is really important to understand, that when we're talking about science, you can't just watch porn and think you're doing science. Observation is not the scientific method. The scientific method is a hypothesis test. And that last part was me speaking, right?
So,
And a hypothesis test is very specific manipulation of the independent variable.
Can you please give me an example for like because we do science with like observatories, right? Where they look up in the sky to test our hypotheses. So how what are the independent variables for that kind of science?
To me, that is not a type of science that you would call natural science. It's like a lowercase science. Like, you don't really, hold on, you don't really think that like psychologists or scientists, do you? It's a pseudoscience, obviously. Cosmologists, astronomy, and theoretical astrophysicists have zero viable hypothesis.
So like for an example with like the recent like James Webb telescope, you don't think that any of its observations are part of science?
No, that's philosophy. It's outside of the realm of science. It doesn't qualify. In the similar way that, in the similar way that all Texans are U.S. citizens, but not all U.S. citizens qualify as Texans. You get it?
Do you think that, so you just read Sean Carroll's description. Do you think that Sean Carroll would agree with your assessment?
Well, if you go by what you just said.
Well, so I understand that you just read that from Sean Carroll, but would you acknowledge at least that Sean Carroll would describe the James Webb observations as science? Do you concede that point at least?
Well, we're talking about, somebody is really loud with the phone. Can you mute your fucking phone if you can? Yeah, so Sean Carroll may be talking about lowercase science, but we're talking about natural science. You got to be hyper specific, right? So if you're talking about natural science, that's a method, right? A very strict method. And if it doesn't go through that method, then it's not science. Because under your definition of what you think science is, making observations, then I'm watching a pornographic film. Am I doing science?
Well, what would be your hypothesis?
You can't manipulate it, bro. You're watching it. You're just,
yeah, but
you're
you can
just
have
observing.
a hypothesis of like, I should see this when I look at like at X.
That's not how cause and effect works.
If you look at X and you test if that's true or not, then you're testing your hypothesis. That's my understanding.
No, think about it like this. You and I get a hotel room, right? Separate beds, of course. No homo, right? We're in this
flat
room.
Earth a real society?
No, it's not. Can you be quiet? You interrupted me, which is very rude. I do not want to mute you. Yeah, somebody's getting views on us. Anyway, you and I get a hotel.
No, bro, I have.
Nope. There you go. Thank you.
So you and I get a hotel room, right? We come in, we put our bags down, but we don't flip any switches. Now you and I could have a whole bunch of, talks about which light is connected to which circuit and which switch, right? But we don't have any first-hand primary knowledge until we start doing what? Manipulating the independent variables one switch at a time, right? And science is never settled, so this one bulb could have two different causes, right? That's the reason why science is never settled. So the best knowledge we could have is not purely theoretical, hypothetical postulations, but it would be the actual manipulation of the switch. And we witness a cause and effect relationship. You can't just observe the lights for 3 months and theorize about what do you think is fucking causing it, right?
What about if you observe the lights and the switches?
Bro, I didn't
Someone
talk
else
to
was
you.
in
I'm
the
not
room
talking to
flicking
you.
the
I'm
switches
not
while you
talking to you.
watched.
I'm not talking to you. I just asked critical base theory a question.
Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
just depends on what your hypothesis is. Like, if I had a hypothesis that there was an object, a specific object in the room, and then we did an observation by turning on the lights and looking to see if that object was where I said it was, then that's a hypothesis test.
Bro, I just asked you a simple question. We're not going to have any first-hand primary knowledge until we start flipping switches, right?
Okay, sure. That's how you could do your observations.
Okay. That's the only way we can make an observation and observe the cause and effect relationship between the manipulations, correct?
I suppose, but my
Everything
point
else
was that
is imagination, right?
no, my point was just that you don't need to do those manipulations in order to test a hypothesis, and I gave you an example.
Okay, I wasn't listening because you were not answering my question. Now that you've answered my question, go ahead and with your example.
So my example was if you have a hypothesis that there's a very specific object in the hotel room at a very specific location, and then you could test that hypothesis with it by performing an observation of just turning on the lights and looking at it. But you haven't manipulated any independent variable or established any causality or whatever. You've just tested your hypothesis.
Dude, that's not a hypothesis test. Looking at something? Like, is bird watching, is that natural science?
You could do science with like watching birds being your observation if your hypothesis had to do with like something that you were predicting to see when you look at these birds.
Okay. Can you cite your source showing that when dealing with natural science, you don't have to manipulate the independent variable?
Like observational science?
Yeah,
No,
like observational science. Like when we go outside and we see that the earth is flat?
natural science.
Because if we're talking about observational science, then when I look outside at North Beach in Corpus Christi and I see Ingleside on the Bay 10 miles away, then according to you, I just scientifically proved that there's zero curvature because I was 1 foot above the surface of the water, assuming 1 foot waves. It was a windy day. Then there should have been 66 feet of curvature, and I could see the street lamps
Did
at night.
Did you account for refraction in that prediction?
How much refraction would be there if I'm at the bottom of the level that I can view from? Pretty close to as close to the bottom as I could get, and I could see past a 66-foot hump of water.
Right, but unless you account for refraction in your calculations by like actually measuring what the refraction is, then you're not accurately calculating what the globe model predicts you should see.
So according to you, because there's always refraction, then you never can see if it's actually the curvature because it's always just refracted.
No, I've tried to make this very clear. You have to account for refraction in your calculations. I mean that's very clear, right? You have to account.
Wait a minute. Now you're talking about you want to isolate variables like refraction, but earlier you said that we could just observe things and that's science. Which one is it, bro?
You can account for variables in your observations.
Okay, so how do we tell if it's the Earth curve causing it or refraction the way I described it earlier, where it's more or less than 8 inches per mile squared, causing objects to disappear from the bottom up?
Yes, I answered this earlier. You have to measure what the refraction is by measuring the lapse rate and account for that in your calculations. I feel like this is very clear.
Okay, so you're talking about stuff that I don't know about, lapse rates. So I'm going to have to admit ignorance. Does anybody else know what he's talking about? Lapse rates and accounting for refraction? This thing that is Snell's law. It's obviously something that happens, but the way that he's describing it, it's 8 inches per mile squared refraction, which is a coincidence that it just happens to be the same curvature rate as the Earth.
Well, so the 8 inches per mile square is just the geometry of, like, not even a sphere, but it's like a parabola, but like it's an approximation that doesn't take into account anything about refraction. So if you wanted to get an actually accurate assessment of how far away you should be able to see in the globe model, you would have to, in your equations, account for refraction. There are equations that are not just 8 inches per mile squared. They're actually, you plug in the variable of like the lapse rate, the refractive index, and you account for that.
Okay, so you're talking about describing things mathematically, because math is a language, correct?
Yeah, it's a description.
Right, so you're describing things mathematically. How do we test this instead of just describe it? Because I could describe all sorts of things mathematically, like how much force would it take for a Superman to leap over a building in a single bound? But what does that refer to reality? Absolutely nothing, right?
Well, so here's how you would test that, right? You would calculate how far away I should be able to see given this position on Earth, given these refractive conditions, and then you go out and you test, can I see that far or can I see farther? If you can see farther, then you've
Right.
debunked the globe.
Okay, so during the 3 days that I was there, July the 4th, day and night, the whole time, I could see Ingleside on the Bay.
And
Did
did
the
you
refractive
ever,
indexes not change during that time?
over the 3 days, did you ever one time measure what the refraction is so that you can account for it?
Okay, so how do I measure refraction? Because you're saying we can measure this. How do we measure it?
By measuring the lapse rate? I mean, there are devices that you can get that would measure that.
So what I order a lapse rate device on Amazon? What are you talking about?
I think that you can do it just by getting different temperature readings at like a gradient, but I'm not 100% sure on how you would actually go about measuring the lapse rate. But I do know I can post like the formula that you would then take that measurement into account for like an actual distance of how far you should see in those refractive conditions.
Well, I could post the formula of how many newtons Superman would need to leap over a building with a
Sure.
single bound, but that doesn't refer to reality at all. Like,
I know,
how
but
do I
then you have
know
to.
we're dealing with really is, right? Like the light switches, it really is this switch affecting this bulb. How do I
Right.
do that with what you're talking about?
That's why I'm saying that you have to test the predictions that come out of the math. So you first you do the math, you measure the refraction, you calculate what should be, and then you test it. That's the like you test it by actually looking in those conditions and
So you're
seeing
saying I
what you see.
basically
Have
have
to be
to
done.
live at the ocean. Go ahead, brother.
No, you're fine. I'm just saying, lucky we've done that then.
Well, maybe you know something I don't. Go ahead, Jedi.
No, you're fine, buddy. You're fine. You got this. I'm just
I got a
waking up and
headache.
grabbing some coffee. That's all.
Okay, I got a headache. I'm kind of not really feeling it. That squeaky voice changer YouTuber trying to get views. Ugh.
Hey, well, I'm gonna go to bed soon anyway, but thanks for unmuting me and largely allowing us to have a good conversation between me and Larry. I feel like it was respectful.
Yeah, it was great, man. Thank you.
Yeah,
And hey,
thanks for
Flat Earth
posting
dude,
that website.
thanks for vouching for me
Yep.
when I was muted, buddy.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. I like. I pay attention to the fucking chat, man. You
I
gotta
don't
pay
know how to refer to you percent.
percent. Just say percent. That's it. Hey, what's up, percent? What's up,
Okay,
Too
yeah,
man?
much
thanks
Long
for
percent.
time, man.
also
Long
vouching.
time,
No,
man.
no, 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 no. You gotta say
Yeah.
percentage.
Percent. Oh, percentage. Oh, okay. Yeah. Percentage. I like it. It sounds
No,
better.
you gotta
It's got
say
a
fence
nicer
sitting
syllable.
cancer. That's what it is. A fence sitting cancer.
By cancer, he means my zodiac guys.
Percentage.
Excuse me, Doc.
Doing
Good.
great,
So he
man.
was
How you guys
saying
doing?
we got to measure like a majority of the atmosphere.
Yeah.
and account for that and make observations
Yeah,
like
it's
nonstop.
nonsense, man. It's complete nonsense.
It just sounds like an excuse of why it looks flat. It looks flat because you didn't account for refraction.
You guys didn't account for the thing. I got the barometer meter.
But there's observational science.
Yeah,
You just
fuck
can't
off.
trust
Yeah,
your
come on.
observations.
But I got a gyrometer that spins
Listen.
at 27,000 RPM, and it's amazing.
Refraction is a very precise
Gotta
machine
think.
to make something curved look not curving.
That's fantastic, man. Write that down. Oh, you got to put that in a book or on the something. But yeah, that was excellent. Yeah.
If you
It
want to
just
make something, if you
looks
want to make
like it's
something,
not curving
listen,
because it's curving. It makes it look like it's not curving because it's curving. How ridiculous is that, man? I mean, that is so asinine, backwards, upside down. Dude, I can't put it any more perfectly. Thank you, James Bro. Ah, thank you.
refraction knows how to do it. If you want to make something straight, you use refraction because it makes it look straight. Even not.
Dude, I wish my camera was on, but like, dude, I'm giving you the thumbs up, man. That's an excellent point, man. I'd like to see those Mongos try to defend that shit, man. Come on. It just makes it look like it's bending because it's, flat. What? Is that what you just said? Really? That's basically what they're saying, man. The reason it looks flat is because it's curved. It's the same thing as Neil, or Elon Musk said. If it looks fake, because if it was real, man, we would have better CGI. Something like that. Anyway.
So he's talking about the lapse rate. Lapse rate arises from the word lapse in the sense of gradual fall. In dry air, the adiabatic lapse rate, decreased temperature of a parcel of air that rises in the atmosphere without exchange energy with surrounding air. What the fuck? Can anybody explain this to me?
I could try, but it's gonna go bad. I'm sure. But no, I'm not. God damn. It's
The environmental lapse rate is the decrease in temperature of air with altitude for a specific time and place. So he's talking about decreasing temperature with the altitude. What the fuck does that have to do with me observing an object 10 miles away from 1 foot above the fucking surface?
I think that's why he's not here anymore, man. He's
and how is refraction? It's doing it's making things to be what is there. They are there in reality. Real.
I think Darren. Listen, that Darren has been trying to speak.
Lapse rate corresponds to the vertical components of the spatial gradient of temperature. Although this concept is most often applied to the Earth's troposphere, it can be extended to any gravitational supported parcel of gas.
It's fucking nonsense, Hank. Come on, bro. I mean, I had to use your synonym, but
that's all right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nonsense, bro. That's such nonsense.
Darren, how can Vlad see 30 miles across the lake?
Because the troposphere, bro. And gravitational fields.
It's
refraction. Darren, is it refraction?
Yeah, pick one, man. Refraction. You got gravitational fields. You got a few to choose from, man. Pick one. What is it? Oh, it's flat, and it's perfectly flat. That's one of your choices, man. It is one of your choices, bro. I hate to tell you, but
which type of refraction is happening?
yeah, exactly, right. Which refraction is happening?
All
'Cause
of
there's a
Super
lot
duper
of
global
refraction.
effect.
any of them, just the one we need.
But only one word.
Whatever mood you're in that day, man, you gotta pick. Yeah, it's terrestrial, it's astronomical.
Listen, I think Darren has been trying to say something. Darren, are you there?
Darren, what's up?
Is your last name McCarronson?
And then unmuting. Oh, he's
got
having
mic issues.
Let's restart the.
He's having some mic issues. Yeah, mic issues.
Leave, rejoin, press some buttons, turn it on and off again. I don't know.
My favorite one has been, well, I don't have a microphone. What? You don't have a microphone?
Hey, Darren, it might be your refracted mic. It might be refracting.
Bro, even Britannica says lapse rate of change in temperature observed while moving upward through the Earth's atmosphere. So his whole argument was a non sequitur.
Well, because we were talking about a straight level plane across how far we could see, right? And he's like, no, what up in the atmosphere? It's like way up here. It's completely it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't add to the claim. It doesn't help. I'll promise you that.
So it gets cold when you go up the mountain.
Right.
What the fuck does that have to do with me looking at something on the beach 10 miles away? Come on, Globers. Can you do a little better? Do better, bro.
Just gotta do better, man. You really do. That's why I'm laughing about it, Larry. I'm like, we gotta laugh occasionally and go, come on, you guys are striking out, and we see it, man. It's like you guys are batting like maybe like
0?
94 out of whatever. He's batting 94.
You're batting like a blind, drunk Babe Ruth.
Like horrible, right?
What if you make observation and outside it's -10?
Well, that's an astronomical figure there, Gabby Gat.
-10 is astronomical.
It does get big.
It's not Gabby. Who?
It's Sasha.
That was Sasha, the one that Sasha got.
My bad.
It's all right.
Damn, you guys sound a lot like.
Yeah.
You guys do. I'll give you that.
No, they don't.
It means if we make observation on -10 and we make observation on +20, we will see in -10 we will see 5 miles, and on +20 we will see 30 miles.
It's a huge difference. That's your point, right? It's like a huge.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking like astronomical huge difference.
Yep. Look at like this example, Black Swan. If it was temperature, let's say, doesn't matter, 25 degrees, let's say temperature was that day, and we see 10 miles. That means if temperature change and it will go up to 35 degrees, what that mean? That we will see more or less? Or doesn't matter?
Depends what's in the atmosphere.
Yeah,
You've got moisture in the atmosphere.
Depends
on
on
rain.
Dry.
If it's raining, yeah, it's foggy. Yeah, depends.
Temperature, okay, thus the temperature of the air parcel that ascends or descends 5 kilometers would fall or rise 49 degrees Celsius. Or, for the English-speaking people, just kidding, Jedi. Thus, the temperature of the air parcel ascends 3 miles would fall or rise 85 degrees Fahrenheit.
What's that got to do with light bending?
The fuck does that have to do with the price of rice in China? He just brought up some shit that he knew that I wouldn't know, so he could clip the video and get out of there with me going, I don't know what you're talking about. And now that I'm calling his ass out, he's nowhere to be found because he's an honorable man.
He gone. He gone. He gone. He gone.
Why do they got to use these tactics, Globers? Let me. I'm gonna unmute Scott, right? Let me just. Let me ask this dude. Where's he at?
They've already been unmuted, apparently.
Hey, Scott. If you Globers are so correct about the Earth being a globe, why do you have to do stuff like that guy just did?
What did he do? Sorry.
Have you
Watching a
not been
basketball
listening this?
game.
You haven't been listening this whole time?
A little bit. He said
Okay, well,
something
I'm not
about
going to explain it to
some
you.
video. Okay.
It's not
My
my
question
fault.
will be, why Flat
What,
Earthers was
Deken?
claiming refraction 5 years ago and Globers was against that?
Because it had to be the curvature of the Earth causing it. Couldn't be anything else. And that was their mantra, affirming the consequent until we proved them wrong. And now, they're the ones that were right the whole time, and Flat Earthers have been denying refraction.
Scott, why Flat Earthers was claiming first refraction before Glober?
How much refraction were you claiming?
2016, we were claiming there is a refraction. No, boats going over the horizon was the claim.
Yeah, but the
And
question is how much?
we were saying it is refraction there, and Globers were saying no, it's going over the geometrical horizon.
But did you explain how it could be refraction?
Yeah, we said it's causing things to disappear from the bottom up.
No, I know, but how?
Because of atmospheric conditions like lensing, atmospheric lensing. The guy who came on the Chicago news station 1 year to the day after they did the story on It's a Mirage, he was a specialist in his field and said that the atmosphere is acting like a lens. And when I quoted that to Globers such as Zanuck in like 2017, 2018 era, he was saying that that's bullshit until I showed him the video. Then he never recanted and said that I was correct and he was wrong. Of course, that would be honorable, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, it's honorable. Hell yeah.
So can you see that city every day from that position?
No.
So
Can you see?
What do you think?
Can you see things that far away, 60 miles away, every day? Come on, bro. You ever heard of fog?
If you see the lighthouse on 20 miles and other days, and you don't see like for 1 month you don't see that lighthouse, but again you see that lighthouse after 1 month, are you care about what you don't see that 1 month, or you're caring about what you see that only 1 day?
No, because some of us like to explain everything we see, not just some of the things we see.
If you see something what is real and it's 10 miles, another day you see 5 miles, you will say that is not real because I saw other day it's 5 miles.
No, I would like to have an explanation for why I see different on different days.
Because you
Because
have
I want the weather
you have
changes.
some atmospheric conditions what is not giving you that you see more.
An explanation
Likes
that
to explain
comforts
away.
with the globe religion. If it comforts with the globe religion, then he'll like it. If it doesn't, you can just scratch it.
Then it's refraction. It's all relative, man.
Or we can just do our best as adults to figure out why things look different on different days.
Or we can look like adults why is not drop over distance in reality.
Wow, you guys all jumped on that, huh?
Weather changes. 5th time.
Okay, what weather changes?
The weather changes. Atmospheric condition, temperature gradients, moisture within the atmosphere, pollutants in the atmosphere. The atmosphere changes.
Rain.
And the thing that you need to, the light is always going to pass through the atmosphere, whether the Earth is flat or whether it's a globe. We're still looking at light past the atmosphere. In both ideas, the light is going to deviate through the atmosphere. No one's denying refraction. You just say that on certain weather conditions we can see further because we couldn't before, because that was the curvature of the Earth. But until refraction comes along, we project everything up behind that curvature and make everything look flat. We just have atmospheric changes along a flat Earth, and depending on the atmospheric conditions of the day, you'll be able to see far or not.
In which atmospheric conditions affect being able to see far, whatever that means?
Nice clear day.
So if I go on a nice clear day And I go down this place where I grew up, Huntington Beach, California, and I look out and I see a beautiful clear day. I see this Catalina Islands 25 miles offshore. But I only see the top part of it. And there's a marina right there that I can never see. How do I explain that? Is there atmospheric conditions?
No, that's your angle above the surface. I've demonstrated this like 50 times. Do you want me to do it again?
You have an actual graphic or something that we can talk about?
I've got an image we can talk about if you want.
Okay, show me the image.
Cool, so 31 minutes past the hour. Observation of a camera on the floor, looking down a black corridor.
No, I was talking about an island. Not
No,
some
okay,
camera on the
so
floor.
why can't I see the bottom of this doorway when the camera's on the floor?
Why are you showing me a hallway?
Why when I increase the altitude of the camera above the floor, can I see further across this flat floor?
I thought you guys didn't like models.
This is an observation.
It's a model.
Yeah, it's an observation.
It's a model.
It's an observation.
What kind of model? Is it a scientific model, a computer model, a runway model? What are you talking about? It's a model.
I'm asking why I can't see a marina, and he's
I've
showing
just
me a
given you the
hallway.
demonstration.
Why?
I'm just giving you the demonstration because you're claiming that you can't see the bottom of something. Okay, well, when you're low to the surface, this camera can't see the light that's at the bottom of the door down this corridor. When you raise your angle above this flat surface, you can see the light at the bottom of the door along this corridor. Now, why is that? Why on a flat surface? Why on a flat surface can I not see the light at the end of the corridor until I raise my camera up? Why is that then?
What am I not supposed to be able to see?
You'd be really bad at spot the difference, wouldn't you?
Forever. That's what you're not supposed to be able to see.
You explained it yesterday, Scott, when you were in the middle of the sea in your boat going around looking at that circle. I thought you'd already explained this to us, how that was possible or not possible.
Yeah, but today he's playing that he doesn't get the point. It's just being.
No, I'm just wondering why I'm being shown a hallway when I'm asking about something 25 miles away.
Well, like showing us a circle like you did yesterday, a bit like that.
Well, how did you verify this floor was flat, for one? Maybe the maybe the curve
you could
is
use a level, couldn't you? You could use a level, and
you
know.
could. Did you?
Well, it's not my floor. Same as you never sat in the middle of the ocean and saw the circle. That kind of thought experiment, you know.
Well, but I have sat in the middle of the ocean. You guys could do it too if you wanted to.
I know, but
So
you only had a
you're
thought. You had a thought experiment.
So you're showing me a floor that nobody's verified if it's actually flat or not, and saying it shows proof of something, right?
All I've given you is 2 images down what appears to be a very level floor. You can tell that by the way that it's reflecting the light in the image across that surface. It looks fucking level. All right?
So we're looking at the reflected light across the surface.
Well, we're looking at the whole surface.
That's how we can determine whether something's flat or not.
But we're looking at the whole surface. Now we can disparage or not whether it's a curved surface. But in good faith, because it looks flat, let's just say it is flat. Now you can reproduce this in your own time. I can give you over 20 reproductions of the same thing. But all you will say is, I don't know if the floor is flat or not. All right? The only thing is when we've raised the camera above that flat surface, we can see further across that floor. When the camera is low to the surface, we couldn't observe the light at the bottom of the door until we raised the camera angle up. You're asking me, why can't I see the bottom of this island at distance? Well, I'm showing you a possible reason why. If you're curious, maybe you'll go get a camera, go measure a fucking floor and figure it out for yourself.
So how did you manage the independent
Or if
variables
you're curious,
in
you
that
go
one?
to an ocean and look at yourself and see if you can figure it out.
I have. That's why I'm a flat earther. See, this is the good thing about living on a fucking island. You're surrounded by water. No more than 70 miles away from a body of water at any one time in the UK. Aren't we lucky?
Man, I wish that dude was back in here so I could hold his ass accountable. But he ran like a little bitch, bro.
No, you were talking to Darren earlier. He's here. What did you
Well,
say,
I feel
Darren?
some kind of way about it because it was completely non sequitur. Okay, you're right. I should govern myself and I shouldn't be so emotional. I apologize sincerely.
Did Darren get his mic sorted yet?
Did somebody mute Scott?
Hope so.
Oh, there you are, Darren. Okay.
Yeah.
Just wondered what your opinion was on all this.
Yeah, I missed a bit of the chat, but yeah, the hallway one's an interesting one. Like any experiment, you need to control your variables, as we were talking about before. So it's a bit hard to know when you're down that low whether it's just a slight deviation, half a tile or whatever in the floor. So
Good thing about experiments, you can go and repeat it for yourself, can't you?
Yeah, but you still have to control them, right? We had that conversation a while ago that you need to understand what all the variables are and make sure that there are no other variables. Yeah.
Of course. But this is the good thing about experiments is you can repeat them yourself, can't you?
Yep, that's absolutely right.
So it might be something that, you know, if you had a curious mind, you would do. Just to make sure that the imaging that I'm giving you is, you know, as good as can be.
Yep, and that's fair enough. Yeah, and you'd have to have some way of measuring the flatness of the floor as a starting point. I imagine that it's
yeah, of course,
it's long enough that you could get half an inch deviation or whatever you'd need to obscure that bottom of the door over the camera that low off the ground. But yeah, so I can't
How does that
explain that
translate?
image.
How does that translate for you outside of the hallway, out in reality? How would you describe
Yeah,
that?
so I guess we can go back to our conversation
Which
about
depends.
is it the sphere or is it refraction causing loss? And same deal, you know, we go back to the original chat around managing variables. And one of the variables is the behavior of the refraction of light. So we can sit there and we can, independently of the curve, we can understand how light is refracted through a temperature and pressure gradient, which is measured, as the other guy said, using the laps and things like that to give a model for what light is going to do. And we can then, see how much bending we're going to get from the light. Is it more? Do we see what we expect to see? If we only see what we expect to see by bending light, then there's nothing else at play. But if bending light can't explain everything, there's something else going on, right? And if you think there's curvature and you say, I've got curvature and I know what the bending light's doing, what should I be able to see? Like the shot of the mountains across the Pyrenees or wherever it was that was up a little while back. You can say, yep, we're expecting to see this because we have this much refraction and this much curvature, and this is what we'll see.
Yeah, personally, I'm not bothered about the refraction. You know, I mean, I could go out and look at the sea most days, and you know, today is quite clear, so I know I'll be able to see quite far. And yesterday it was a bit misty, and I couldn't see so far, and that's just light and refraction that exists and all that. It's just it was the curve bit, you know. Wondered how you, because you know, with the example about the hallway was about you know things curving or not curving. So I wondered about how you know what defined that for you. Not the light and the refraction. We know all that bends, you know, and distorts, and you know, we can give all sorts of descriptions to that. But the curved part, because yeah,
So what?
how you thought about that?
Yeah. So for me, the thing that makes me think there's a curve. So I spend a lot of time on the coast. I'm in southern Australia, cool climate, and we stay on a property on the ocean that's owned by a friend, and we're at about an elevation of 10 meters and 20 k's or so offshore. There's an island, and the island is usually visible, sometimes haze, sea haze will block it out. And we can see the tops of the cliffs of the island. You go down to the beach, you can't see the island at all, typically. Some days you can. Then about another 40 kilometres out in the distance, there's a group of large islands that are quite high, or relatively high for the area, 300 metres or something like that. Most of the time we can't see those at all, but when the weather's right, we can see them right down to the beach, just about.
What do you mean by right?
So we know refraction has a... Sorry?
What do you mean by right?
Well,
when the atmospheric conditions are right.
The right to see the island.
Okay.
Under normal, most of the time we cannot see the island, even when the weather is very clear, when the skies are crystal clear, and you go, climb right up on the hill on the back, you still can't see the island, but you can see the surface of the water a long way away, right down the coast that runs along. So imagine looking along a coastline, you look out to sea to where the islands are along the coastline. We can see a long way along the coastline, but we can't see the islands. So we know that we can see a long way, the conditions are good, but the islands are just not visible until we get these strange weather conditions where the islands literally raise up out of the sea during the day and go down at the end of the day as the weather cools off. So I know refraction plays a part in what I see, and the fact that most of the time refraction isn't present, that we get very clear views of the closer island, but we cannot see the far one, that there is something else other than refraction limiting my visibility of those far islands. Yeah, Bev, they literally do raise up out of the sea. You can sit there, you can watch the weather come in.
No island
islands
is
lift up.
raising up, bro. It's either being blocked or it's not being blocked, but it doesn't move. Like if you took
It does, no, it moves. You sit there, you
it's
look
not
out to
moving,
sea,
dude.
and the islands appear
So you
to
live in a
lift up
world
out of the
where
water.
islands
Fly
up
appear
into
is
the
different
sky.
from literally.
They
Appear to
appear
move
to
is
lift
different
up
from
out of the
literally,
sea.
mate.
Yeah. So
Okay,
at the
so
beginning of the
there we
morning,
go.
when
At
you can
least
just
now
see the
we're
peaks on the horizon, by lunchtime, you can see the entire island.
yeah, it's kind of like when that Sky Free takes a RC boat out into the lake, and then they drive it away, and certain parts of the day it disappears sooner than later. But if the conditions are right, you can see the RC boat where on the other time of the day where it was blocked. It doesn't mean that the RC boat is lifting up out the
No,
sky into your view. It's just that the
yeah.
water and the optical phenomenon that's happening, it is making it seem like it's
Oh,
going
yeah.
behind the water.
This is
But
an
it's not
optical
going
phenomenon.
it's not
Yeah.
going behind the water. It's that it's still going straight across the water, across this lake, but it's the water being refracted to where it's now blocking that boat. Globers, your cognitus and your strong delusion will not allow you guys to grasp this concept. It's amazing.
Yeah. So why can't I see it all the time? Because under normal circumstances, there's no refraction, right? Light travels in a straight line.
Jedi told you out the gate. He told you the weather conditions and the environment of what we are looking over.
Yeah, so the refraction makes things appear higher, right? It lifts things up visually in your view. So if you take the hallway picture, right, there's no refraction there, everything.
There's different types of refraction. There's over 5 categorized. Which one are you talking about?
So this is the kind of refraction we normally see in the atmosphere, right? Which is it creates mirages and it results in a downward curving of the light.
Yeah. So as soon as you bring up mirages, that's one type of refraction that causes that.
Well, that's one type of image that's created, right? Refraction is a thing, right?
Loads.
So yeah,
there's loads of
and it
different
can result in different consequences, right? Because if you've got, particularly what you see in the atmosphere, right, is non-linear kind of changes in refraction. So if you look into the distance, sometimes things that are high up will be pushed higher than things that are lower. It's not things get stretched and spread out, and all
we've got a
kinds
few
of
different
effects.
phenomena we can deal with. Yeah, one of them's called compression of distance. Yeah, there's a few. Yeah.
Yeah. And but when there's no refraction at all, right? That can happen too. Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, my friend. I do
Sorry,
apologise.
finish.
If we're talking about refraction, we're just talking about the way that light passes through the atmosphere. We're not talking about Earth curvature, though, are we?
No.
So light is going to refract in both ideas, whether the Earth be flat or a ball. We're still looking at light through the atmosphere.
Yeah, absolutely. But sometimes there'll be no refraction, right?
I don't know.
Or very little. Yeah.
Very little. Yeah. But there's always going to be some deviation of the path of light, depending on the distance you're looking through the atmosphere and the atmospheric conditions you're looking through. Yeah.
Yep, that's right. And most of the time, refraction appears to make things higher in your vision than they are. Do you agree with
Unless
that?
we're talking about compression, where it doesn't.
Yeah, that's right. But if you've got normal, so compression refraction is a kind of one of those non-linear cases, right, where it distorts the image. I'm talking about situations where
closer to the horizon,
where the image is still very crisp, right? There's no distortion.
There is distortion, yeah.
But there can be cases where there isn't distortion, right? Where the image at the other end still has very it retains its fidelity, you know, like you were looking at it through a telescope or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still just talking about how light moves through the atmosphere, not Earth curvature.
No, but light alone can't explain it.
Light alone can't explain what?
What we see. The refraction alone can't explain what we see.
The curvature that we don't see.
What if we measure the refraction?
In particular, it can't explain what you can't see. But if you can't see something, it's not likely because refraction is too high.
But you're saying
it's
that
not likely because refraction is making it harder.
Darren, you're saying that the lack of evidence is the evidence.
The lack of evidence of what? Sorry?
Of the curvature. You're saying that the refraction, it's showing it to not be curving. That's how you know it's curving.
No. We know how much curving of our vision the refraction causes. The refraction can't account for all of the curving that we see most of the time.
What curving that we see?
So going back to my observations of the islands where I stay, on clear, cool days where refraction is very low, I cannot see the islands at all, even though my straight line visibility is good enough that if the islands were high enough, I could see them. So if they were 2,500 meters high, or I'm not sure what the number has to be, but if they were 2,500 meters high, I would clearly be able to see the islands on these days, but I cannot because they're just not visible above the sea. But on the days where the temperature's right and we get high refraction, I can see the islands.
When you say the temperature's right, is that hot or is it cold?
Most of the time it's been a relatively warm day, but the conditions are also tend to be a little bit unusual. So I don't know exactly what the temperature gradient looks like, but it's relatively warm. It's for where I live, 25 degrees Celsius, something like that.
That's why I think refraction is a waste of time.
You're coming through really dodgy there, mate. You're not coming through clear.
No, it's not much better.
The fact that there has been video after video explaining and showing this example of items that are on the floor, they're 30 feet away or 20 feet away from the camera, which is also low to the floor. When zoomed in, you can see them. They let in a cold temperature air, changing this, the optics of the way the camera's seeing those pieces, and then they disappear. Doesn't mean it's a curved globe floor. It doesn't mean that they were raised down or raised up. They stayed in the exact same position. It's just the fact that the air the air,
Yeah.
because of its temperature, it optically made it disappear behind now this cold front, if you will. What are you not
Yeah.
understanding about this?
Yeah, so that makes sense, right? That if you change the atmospheric conditions, even in a building over a long distance, because the rate of curvature of light in air, even with a strong refractive gradient, is low. So the if you change the atmospheric conditions in the hall, you will get some change in refraction. But if you know exactly what those conditions were, control the variable in the experiment, you can work out how much your light will shift. And when you know how much the light is shifting, you can work out how much of the floor you'd expect not to see.
But
And
why
then you
is
go out
this
and you
going
compare that
over
with.
your head, though? You're
It's not over my head.
you're saying all these things, but you're not realizing the floor is flat, measurably flat, level,
Did you
flat,
measure it?
straight across. Yes, the people that
Measure
did
it.
it measured it. They show you. They show you that it's just going straight across in
How
where
did
they
they
did
do
this
that?
experiment.
Okay,
Dude,
yeah. So
you're
I'm
just
not
a denier,
disagreeing.
bro. You want to deny reality. That's all you do, bro. That's all you have
So
to deny it, by the way, because this is proof that what you believe in is a falsehood. So you have to deny that reality to justify the one you believe in, and that's crazy.
no, I'm not denying it. I'm saying that so taking the hallway case again, so we can do the hallway experiment. We can introduce the cold air. We can work out how much refraction we get, right? And that should agree with our understanding of refraction of light. We can say, yep, this is what's going to happen in a hallway of cold air. Is that what happened? Yes. Okay, it was refraction. We lost visibility because the light refracted up and cut off our vision of the door, which is what we'd expect to see in the real world, right? That light would refract up and things would look up higher in the sky. So we take that knowledge of refraction and the tests we've done in a hallway and understanding how refraction works and temperature gradients. We go out in the real world and there's something else. It doesn't line up.
Which
You can say
refraction
that
are we talking about? When you say refraction, what do you mean? What type of refraction is it?
it's just refraction. So refraction of it doesn't matter what type it is here. This is just refraction of the light through the air. So causing a bending of the light. Doesn't matter what kind of image it creates at the end of the day. It's just the fact that the light is not traveling in a straight line. That's all we care about. We don't care whether it makes an upside down image, stretches images out, or compresses them. The fact that it's bending the light is all we care about.
It's the refraction that causes the curving the curving ball to look not curving. That type of refraction.
Yeah, most of the time refraction makes things look higher in your vision than normal. So the
Yeah, let's
refraction that
talk
we
about
get
this one, the
typically in
one
the
that you're
atmosphere.
talking about, the one that causes the curve to look not curving. Which one is that one?
It's just typical refraction conditions result. So it could be compressing, or it could be any of those things, but typically refraction that you see through the atmosphere is generally lifting things up and potentially compressing them and maybe inverting them. But the general trend is it lifts things higher in your vision than they really are.
My mic better?
So, yeah, it is, yeah.
Okay. But the thing is with the refraction is, you can describe that all day long, and I don't see that personally. And, you're not describing anything that's common to us all. It's just a perception. It's just what the atmosphere might be like on the island you're looking at, or the sea, or whatever I'm looking at. It's just not out there in the distance. There's something happening. Somebody gave some figures to it, and it's not common. The measurement isn't solid and common to everybody at all times. So, like, say, say, like the horizon is horizontal. The plane of the horizon is horizontal, and you can establish other horizontals that are parallel to that, and that's common to all of us, isn't it? and then all the
Last week
perpendiculars
discussed
to that will be
horizontals. Because I know
parallel
Bev's
too.
on the call. That will end in tears. So we can just talk about
No, but that's common
refraction
to us
for
all.
now.
We could talk about that. You know, if that's the problem for me with refraction. We're talking about mist and possible things happening with light that are not common, that you could define and fix between you and I and anybody else in this room at all. It just can't be done. It's like talking about gravity and some other bullshit. It's nothing can be done about it. But these things that we can do in reality between you and I and measure in reality, we can all do that. And that's should be a good common thing to talk about.
I want to reply to that. If I could just get in for a second, I'll be quick. Yeah, when I hear the word refraction, like what I think, like inside my head, is it sounds like an excuse to me as to why it looks flat. That's all it is. There's no way to verify it. There's no way to falsify it.
Yeah.
It's not repeatable or testable. Go ahead, bro.
For me,
it's good.
It sounds like when a parrot repeats but doesn't know what it's saying, it's just saying a word like refraction. It sounds like that.
It's a vague topic that you could, that sophists can employ because it doesn't have any real clear definition that we can all agree upon.
It does.
Just vague, and people talk about light. It isn't. It isn't.
Well,
it really isn't.
Well, let's
But
let's talk
we're
about the
talking.
scenario
Let's
where
go
there is
back
no
to the
refraction, right?
horizontals that we can measure, and we can define.
Would you be able
and we
to
can
agree
construct
on conditions where there was no refraction, that you would be able to identify that there was no
I
refraction
can't
happening?
measure it, man. I can't measure it. I was just given some
can.
figures when I came along on this journey. Somebody told me something about 7/6R, and I don't know what that means. I can't measure it. I don't
Yeah,
have
I think that's the
possibility
normal.
to
Under normal circumstances, that's the compensation for refraction that they use.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I can't measure it, and neither can you. You're just talking about concepts and light that is there. It's not there. It may bend. It's sunny. It's cloudy. It's misty. The sea, the perspective. There's so many combinations of things
Oh yeah,
that
it's
can't be
complex.
fixed. Yeah. And that's just something
but
to
we can
run
fix
around
enough
and
of them.
talk about and go, oh, well, yeah, but that's refraction, man. You can't prove it. But the horizontal, we could measure that, couldn't we? We could establish that. When we're talking about curvature or whether a straight line is straight at all or that kind of thing. Things we can establish in reality. That I like
what
to,
is
try and
horizontal?
keep it really basic.
It's like this. My best friend, right? He's shagging your girlfriend, and he's a pervert, and he recorded it with 2 different cameras. And I provide you 2 different videos, so you got 4 witnesses. Well, I wasn't there, but 3 witnesses. She's trying to show you that hey, she's cheating on you, bro. Don't be mad at my friend. Be mad at her because she was the one that made the vow with you that you were going to get married or whatever, right? And you're like, no, man, it's not there. She's not cheating. Like, she loves me. She wouldn't do it. Why would she lie? And it's like it's right in front of you. You can see it with your own 2 eyes. Well, I'm talking about the Earth in this stance. And you're like, no, why would they lie? Yeah, you're just like, a globe cock.
You could probably extend your analogy, right? So, what if I said it wasn't my girlfriend, it was yours with a mask on? It's not a good analogy, dude.
But you
It
have
doesn't
no.
really.
We got observational science, right? You Globbers love observation.
No, we
Go
have
ahead,
got
Joe. I'm sorry.
observational science, right? We know how to observe and measure refraction and what its impact is, and we
What
cannot
about a
account
water?
for what we see.
What about a water level? What about a water level to
You
establish
can't measure refraction. You
Let's
assert
talk
it.
about level.
You assert refraction. You don't measure it.
I talk about something we
No,
can
you do.
actually
You can
do.
measure it. You can measure it. Yep. You can, from the atmospheric conditions, you can measure the impact of what the impact of refraction will be.
How do you do that?
Yeah, go ahead.
How do you do that? You measure the temperature and pressure gradient of the air.
Mm-hmm.
Have you done that?
No, I'm
No,
sorry.
no.
There's another
I
way.
haven't
There's
done
a
this
much
right.
easier way to do this. A much easier way. I'll ask you this question: do different wavelengths of light refract differently?
Yes, they do.
Yeah, awesome. So, would it be a good idea to pass different wavelengths of light through the atmosphere to see how much they refracted or not? in comparison to each other.
That would work. That would work.
Yeah, that's why when quote unquote laser tests are done, they're not just a pretty green laser that's shot out across a distance of water. They're dual and tri-band lasers, 2 or 3 different wavelengths of light, opposite ends of the spectrum, infrared included, to see if the light deviates through the atmosphere. Newsflash does a little bit. Newsflash, it's not going round Earth curvature. It's just wiggling a little bit through the atmosphere.
Yeah. That's good. That's excellent evidence for Earth curvature. If the light's not refracting, then why can't we see everything? Why can't I see my islands all the time?
My friend, that's evidence that the light is refracting through the atmosphere. It's not Earth curvature.
Oh, you just said that the light doesn't diverge. That those three color beams have the same level of refraction. Let me see you. Sorry.
Hey, Darren, why don't you go watch that video I tagged you in? Just go watch it. It's like maybe a few minutes. Just go watch it and then come back and let's discuss what you saw with your own eyes. And the people tell you, they give you everything you need. The pressure, the temperature, the time, what day it was, whatever. Everything you're going to need is right there in that video. Go watch it. Like, hit mute, go watch it, come back. Is that fair? Then we could talk about reality, not just what you think is happening, not what you want to tell us what's going on. Just go watch that video and come back. Can you do that?
I think I've seen it before, and it was lacking in detail for me. But I'll have a look.
That cock this, bro. Hey, man. Hey, just like Larry said, you're like, girlfriend, he's cheating on you, and she's like, no, he ain't. I love him. He loved me, bro. You
But
are
you guys
lost.
can't separate refraction and curvature as two things that can coexist, right?
I mean, talking about the horizontals, you said something about it would end in tears. What did you mean by that?
I can see Bev from on the level here. Bev and I have had some conversations about level and flat, and how. Well, okay. Can I ask you a question then about that? So we all agree that a canal is level. The ocean is more or less level. Giving away lumps and tidal bulges and flows and things like that. The ocean is more or less level. How would you measure that it was or was not flat, straight line?
Well, there's tools for that, for measuring, establishing horizontals and measuring elevation changes.
No, not elevation, because elevation and level are explicitly tied together by their definition, right? Elevation is a constant elevation is a level surface. So you're not to use elevation as the tool. You need to independently measure the flatness or otherwise of the surface.
on the vertical, from the horizontal.
Yeah, no. So you're missing the point here, right? Because we know that elevation and level are linked. We need to separate them. We need to measure the shape of the surface independent of its elevation.
Yeah, you establish a horizontal.
Yep. Okay. So we get a vertical, we establish a horizontal, like using Bev's auto level. That's a good tool. And that gives us a horizontal plane, right? It's perpendicular to vertical at the point we're standing.
And with each other, it's horizontal. All the perpendiculars are parallel along that horizontal, aren't they?
Oh yeah, all the perpendiculars to a line are parallel with each other. That's correct.
Yeah.
But
so the horizontal
this same deal.
plane of
This is not
reference that you've
differentiating
established.
between Earth. So go and missed you there. You were quiet.
The problem, Darren, is that a lot of you guys, you don't grasp what a straight horizontal line means in reality. Because let's just say, walk down this crazy path with me. Let's say we got a 3,000 mile long straight stick, horizontally flat stick. In your world, you're gonna say, well, you can stand at New York and I can stand on California, and our straight stick is gonna go right across the curved ball Earth that you guys aren't realizing, like, that's just retarded.
You're correct.
Like, that's no longer a horizontal straight stick. Now
You're
you can
correct.
do that. you can do that if it was obviously there's hills, valleys, and understand that. But if you were able to go straight across the plane of the United States, you would have a straight stick. But in your ball belief, after so many miles, that straight stick would now have to start to bend downwards to make up that, so that way you can hold it as well. Otherwise, that
Yeah.
stick will go straight into the sky. While meanwhile, you were dipping down away from from the sky, from my
Yeah.
position. But
I think
for
you've
some
nailed it there,
reason,
right?
you guys believe that is reality, but it's far from it.
How do you know?
Let me speak on that just for a second. So, Apocryphon is totally correct. If we were to prove it that it's flat or level, right? You're going to say, well, it's all relative to the core, the hypothetical, postulated, theoretical core of the Earth. It's all equal distance from the core. Therefore, it's level, but it's curved, right? The
No,
line
that's
is
not
straight, but
what we
it's
would say.
really. I've heard you
Yeah,
guys say it before.
really. No, if
Yeah,
you
that's the
pulled off,
point of
if you pulled
establishing
off
the
an apocryphal,
horizontal plane of reference to
yeah,
measure things from. Then you can from there.
if you pulled off what Apocryphon said, you could make a straight line that we can all verify a straight line, and if the Earth went along with it, along water, we would say, yeah, you're right.
No, it's no longer a straight. God damn, it's no longer a straight line that is level and horizontal. Like for instance, if you took an 8-foot level, okay. Well, what if you took an 8,000-foot level? It's still straight across. It doesn't
I
curve.
agree.
There's no curved levels. None.
I agree.
Ever.
Yep, 100%.
If you had an 8,000-foot level and you put it up against the ocean, I think you would see some variation from the water. Yeah.
Oh my god.
All right.
Yeah, it's waves and things. It's not a very good
Yeah.
one.
And that's what I was asking
I
you
mean, you
before, right?
yesterday you were.
Sorry, you go.
Yeah, sorry, no. Yesterday we saw it on the ocean yesterday for a couple of hours, on the same thing. But horizontal's horizontal. You can establish a horizontal like they did with the canals. That's how they constructed the canals by
No, they established a level.
Measuring elevation change. The water in the canal is flat and is level in each lock.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
So
how it
that's good.
works.
So
Up and down,
yeah.
up and down. Elevation changes from the horizontal.
Yeah. So going back to Archifon, sorry, I'm learning everybody's names here. Talking about his infinitely long level, right?
The tears bit. That's what.
Yeah. So going back to his straight edge, right? He's got an 800-mile long straight edge with a bubble that he plonks down at the end of the canal and rocks it backwards and forwards till the bubble's in the middle, and he's got his line level. It's perpendicular to plumb, and we'd probably call that a horizontal line, right? Now, how would we can't obviously build one of those, right? How would we substitute for that line? Would looking through an auto
We
level
do that
do?
all the time. We do that all. No, I'll tell you how we do that every time we build something. And when people come in here and say that's not how we do it, all that tells me is you've never built anything, or you watched a video of someone lying to you and said this is how we do it, and we have this globe excess, from their measurements. No, that's not the way. It's called transferring the line. That's the way you would do it. We don't have a 20-foot level, but we could transfer the line, which would represent a 20-foot level. And when you transfer that horizontal line, that keeps that level horizontal straight across. And then you can do that mile after mile after mile. And then guess what? At the end of the day, it's horizontally straight across. No curvature at all. That's the way we do it.
So how are you transferring the line? Sorry, using other level tools or?
Correct. So you can use a theodolite, total station, whatever
Yep.
your heart
Okay.
desires, and you're going to transfer
So
the line.
Yep. So if you transferred it over one hop across 5 kilometers,
2.5
or you do lots of
miles.
little ones.
2.5 miles is the total the longest that I've ever built, been a part of something being
Yep.
built. I didn't do it myself.
And did you
obviously.
also
There's
do a
thousands
level
of us.
between the two?
Of
Did you run a
course,
level between the two?
oh, no, we don't build with levels. Well, of course we did, bro. Come on, what are you talking about right now? Of course it was leveled. We have to. That's the way you establish your positions
Yeah.
on the datum points that you get from the surveyors. If he says this position right here, this bolt right here in the ground is 432 feet above sea level, and we're gonna make sure that we're gonna build this floor or this platform or this railway. That's what we built. We're gonna make sure it is 20 feet above the ground, straight across. So then, guess what? We're gonna take that benchmark and then just keep all the way down. Transfer, and it's going to make a horizontal line. Now, newsflash to Globers: horizontal doesn't mean curved. I don't care what bullshit story you want to hear or believe, but that is a horizontal line. It's straight across. And when you transfer the line, you are literally double checking that you're keeping it straight across. Because if you were to go, if you were to deviate off that in elevation, whether it be up to 450 feet of, above sea level, below sea level, then guess what? You're no longer creating a horizontal line. That's the way it works in real life. That's reality.
In reality, in 1984, they had this thing called Newspeak, and they would like change the definitions of words. And horizontal means curved somehow. Peace means war. Ignorance is strength.
Man means woman. Woman means man. It's all fucked up.
Yeah. Things are fucked up. There's no doubt about that. It
means man, you idiot.
Yeah. So I don't know the process you go through, using a total station. So can I ask you a hypothetical then? So if you were to set up that tool at one end of a lock, a canal, and set it so that it was horizontal, would you expect, if you looked at the other end of the canal, say 3 miles, 4 miles down the canal, at a point at the same elevation as you, that it would be smack bang in the middle of your crosshair?
No, because that's not the way it works.
Why? Why doesn't it work like that?
Because as things, somebody posted earlier in the hallway, Jedi posted it to you. You have to realize this is why he posted that. It was like that's the baby steps. That's the fundamentals. Because as things go away from you, they drop from the way you're looking at it. They drop not because of curvature of the earth. And he was trying to like drill that in your head, but you wouldn't accept it. But so for instance, if I set up the total station and I went 300 yards, marked it, did another 300 yards, marked it, did another 300 yards, marked it.
Yeah.
Now 900 yards away, if I look back to the beginning point, that beginning point will look lower, even though I know for a fact it's straight across. Horizontally, it's straight across.
Yeah, cool.
But
Thanks for that.
optically, it looks lower because that's the way you going back to refraction. You guys think we deny refraction? We're invoking refraction. We're saying yes, because of refraction, we have to not measure 900 yards away because things are not in their true position. Optically, now they're there physically because we know, because we measured it, because we marked it, we built it. But we know optically, that's why when these surveyors come in here, oh, I measured 70 miles away and the mountain was lower. Oh, well, of course, you fucking dumb shit, because it's going to drop in the distance. But so you guys run a victory lap. Yay, it's a globe. But I'm saying, no,
No,
what
that's
the
good.
fuck? Okay.
No, that's good. You've given a good description of differential levering there, and you do things like the stations are typically equal distances and stuff, right? So this goes back to our earlier conversation about how do we know how much refraction there is.
No. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Something that we can.
Go ahead.
He's using a tool, measuring the horizontal. We can establish it in fact, in truth, in reality. Fraction